I was copying my intro. What's up? Welcome to what episode is it? Oh my god, I've been doing this for so many weeks. Episode 23 of the Hellion Art Show, and today we have the creators of Mavericks with us. This direction, which is
Where?
here.
You.
It's your.
Oh,
talking about your comic.
They talk about me while I'm in the same room or on the same stream.
Yeah.
Yes, we're here to talk about you and make you feel a lot of pressure. So get ready for a few hours of that.
I could feel more pressure than I did during the campaign already. And now that the campaign's over, I think with the exception of fulfillment, everything else is just going to feel like a vacation.
Yeah, your campaign did fan-freaking-tastically. You did only 30 days, and this is like your first campaign, right?
No, we did 60. We did 30 and then we extended. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Oh man, how did I feel stupid for not getting you on early. Literally, you just went into In Demand yesterday, and I'm like, hey, you're gonna come on my show. So, okay. Well, we have you on now, and you are in demand. So, by the way, links are in the description. If you haven't checked out Mavericks for some reason, come on, mecha, giant robots, comics, you want this, right? The link is in the description, and we'll be posting it in the chat as well. So, you should back this now, because you should do that.
Because you only have like another month before we go to fulfillment. No.
Ooh, yes, only a month. That's fast. I think people like that. People like hearing that books are being fulfilled quickly.
Well, we go to print in a month.
Yeah,
fulfillment come December.
Right. Yeah. Same here. You know, printing stuff always takes longer than you expect. Like I learned that the hard way, and I printed like dozens of books before, but still with a comic, it's always something going wrong. Especially when you're doing a large print run. But anyways.
We got a quote from the printers, so they say that they're on time, and I'm like crossing my fingers. I'm like, that sounds great. Yeah, we've got a couple of more weeks until we give everything, all the final files to them, and I'm just praying that they don't hit any sort of like weird slowdown or delay prior to our books going through the printing cycle. Yeah. In the meantime, we're ordering all of our boxes, all of our bags and boards, getting all of the merch.
Cool. Yeah. Well, if you got like the print file, the printer says it's all good to go. That's like the first step because that a lot of people have problems with that. Yep. And I would say like whatever the date the printer gives it an extra week. But usually, from my experience, they're not too much later than that because they don't want like bad impressions and stuff like that. So yeah, December fulfillment. Yeah, boy. And also here with me is my, I suppose, volunteered co-host Chimera, who is not doing any books right now.
It's not Chimera, it's Shinji.
Is impersonating Shinji to annoy us. And also AC and Nixamudio. Hello. Hello. I don't even know. Like, Nick is my colorist on Fiendish, and AC is here for me to complain to about story writing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they're both comic artists, and you guys, I keep on forgetting to mention, you guys work on Shadow Road and Six Gun, and you guys have your own projects as well. But nothing on Indiegogo as of yet, except for Nick working on Fiendish, but maybe in the future.
Yeah, we got things cooking. So yeah, Nick has his own book that's it's being crowdfunded right now, right? Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was already.
It was over.
It
was on Kickstarter is the thing. And
Kickstarter doesn't do in demand, so.
Yeah.
Right.
Thanks, honey.
We're working. We work.
Really? Cool. That's good to know. It's good to know.
We do things in between of buying cake and ice cream, right?
What?
I like
is that all you do?
Yes.
I'm jealous.
Come on,
that's my life.
No,
my life. I just draw. I draw to get paid, and then I draw to not get paid, and that's like my entire life. It's just drawing, and sometimes people throw money at me. Hi, Eric. What's up? What's up?
The handsomest Eric around.
The Eric, he is here every single show, and we appreciate you.
Yeah,
El Padrino, what's up? Don Wrinkle, also a regular. Oh my gosh, so many regulars. You guys are awesome. Adam Miller. And you just say hi to some people. Lee Reddit Silver Member. I love that. I love that name and that icon. That is amazing. What's up? Artiste extra.
Can't forget John. John's up at the top of the chat.
Yes.
Oh, is that Shadowhawk?
John, where is hello? And John, Alex VRB, hello, Max. So many people, oh my god, yay! Okay, all right. So let's just jump right into it. And I will not mess this up. How do I multiple? No! Go away.
There you go. You did it.
Yay, I did it! I know how to use StreamYard. So tell us about your project. I was on your show like a couple months ago. Wow, time really flies, and you guys are still like rushing this and you're like so nervous to launch it, and now you've launched it and you did over 25K, and I don't know what you're nervous about because I was telling you it was going to do really good, but so tell us what this awesome project is about.
So this awesome project, also known as Mavericks, is about a squad. Well, the first book is about a squad of 6 pilots that go into the ruined former capital of Mongolia, Ulaanbaatar, to rescue a group of refugees trapped behind enemy lines. And there they encounter something they're not prepared for. It becomes a desperate fight for survival as they struggle to complete their mission and defeat this sudden surprise enemy. Book 1, it basically covers just like the setup of that and the initial conflict and sets up the main response. Book 2 of Origins completes that, event. So all of Origins is one evening. It's one night. It's one battle spread out across 2 books. It's a big, awesome thing. Mavericks itself is just kind of a IP that I've been playing with for several years, 5 years or so. It took us 2 years to really boil the book down into what it is now, because originally I was conceiving of it as a screenplay. I started writing a screenplay while I was in graduate school for film writing. And I talked about the script with my friend Garrett, who's the artist on Mavericks. And the more that we talked, the more I started like fleshing out the world even more, and realized that it was probably going to take more than one film to say everything that I wanted to say about this potential future. And he said, well, why don't you not do it as a film? Why don't we do it as a graphic novel? And I was like, oh yeah, it's a great idea. But we're going to have to start somewhere. Because if it's a graphic novel, we kind of have to ground people in the world before we take them on this crazy journey into the near future. So I thought to myself, well, let's look at some of like the really, I guess like street level stories that are out there. Like I love Cowboy Bebop. All right. Cowboy Bebop starts off where you're just kind of like, you follow Spike and Jet around and you follow them on their adventures, right? But there's like a whole world out there to explore, and there's this big meta plot that's going on behind the scenes driving everything, and everyone's got their ulterior motives and their personal motivations. And, a lot of anime is done like that, but you have to kind of ease everybody into it rather than doing a giant exposition dump. So I decided it would be really cool to just tell a story about like 6 pilots on a mission. And then Garrett and I were watching anime and drinking lots of wine, and
as you do,
we watched this movie called Sword of the Stranger. I don't know if
yes, there
is a fight scene at the end of Sword of the Stranger where Nanashi throws down with the blonde-eyed, blue-eyed foreigner from China, and they have this incredible battle in the snow. And Garrett and I looked at each other and we said, well, what if it was mechs? What if we did that battle, but as mechs? And then
so that's how it happened.
That's where the idea of 2 lone warriors in mechanized robotic suits going at it in the snow came from. And I constructed the narrative of Origins kind of around that central conflict between these 2 MAV pilots who would kind of embody these different elements of the world, and you could experience their clash with the world of Mavericks as the backdrop and learn more about it as you learned more about these two fighters who were, you know, like really, really going at it. It's kind of, so in a way it's a little shonen because you're cutting back and forth between these guys in their big robot suits fighting and semi-narration back at the base where they're talking about like what's going on in the suits.
Yeah.
They're trying to plan out strategy and then you cut back.
It's very anime.
Now, it's a little bit anime like that. I mean,
yeah.
Anime.
Mobig's
yeah, I know. Is Mobig's in the chat? He's gonna refund it.
Mobig's? What?
If he's in the chat, he's gonna refund. Yeah. No, but seriously,
it's okay.
the idea of like just following 6 characters that, you know, you can really identify with, that you really come to appreciate for who they are over a very short time period. You know, like you don't have a lot of real estate in a 60-page book, which is slowly growing bigger. Yeah, you know what it's like. Yeah. We said it for 60 pages. Why is it 62?
What? Estimates are always correct.
We have to make it go in multiples of 4, you know, so now we have to add 2 more pages.
Right, so if I add 1 page, I might as well just add 4.
Well, I have to. It can't be 3. It can't be 63 pages. You have to, you know, because it's 4, no, whatever.
Oh, this poster is beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I'm in that torture stage right now where, as people know, I've been doing layouts for book 2 of Fiendish for like weeks now. And the problem is that I'm trying to add in like little snippets of stuff, but then I realize, oh no, I need more pages. But that just means I have to push everything back and rearrange pages. But then that means my page turns aren't right. So then I have to just might as well add 4 more pages instead of adding 1 panel. So I feel your pain. Anyways, you need to come in here and hear about my struggle.
That's okay. I mean, I like hearing about your struggle too. It makes me feel like I'm not alone.
No, you're not alone. Everybody deals with it.
Chimera's muted, so he can't be complaining. You know.
Well, he's not an artist, so he just writes things, and then we have to suffer.
I'm not an artist either. I just tell my artist to draw stuff, but it's also my logistical nightmare. Figure out how many pages we have.
Like, there's so much text on here. This doesn't work.
Oh man, have you ever heard an artist, you know, because they take their own interpretation of the script and they show what they see through the script on the page. Now, I've had artists add panels or condense panels to add beats, things, you know, like just to keep the momentum on the page. Have you ever had an artist who decided to split a page into a page and a half?
Yeah.
That's awesome, because what goes on the rest of the half page?
Yeah, I have combined panels or split panels when I go on scripts. Yeah, but I haven't like messed with page counts because like page count is important, and that's kind of
For me, the thing is just that whenever I end up like creating half a page, I look later for information that can be condensed to never like overextend the page count, but manipulate what actually is condensed. Like sometimes like there's, you know, pages that are written to be like a splash page, they're really not that cool, so let's maybe condense that into the corner and save that for other scenes that are very you know, condensed, that could use some breathing space and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm not used to actually messing around with the page turns. It's like I'll do what I can. Like if I need to get rid of a panel here, if I need to combine some panels here, I might do that. But I don't think I've ever been like actually messing around with the page count or like having something extend to the next page.
I think it's because you're always too worried about the opinion of your writer. Yeah, you're always kind of working like your boss is looking over your shoulder, kind of where he's like, well, I have to make a good impression. This is what they work around.
Break all the rules. If they have a problem with it, they'll tell you.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying anything bad about it.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah. You're also an artist that knows what you're doing. Anyway, my point is just that you're very reserved in that you always hold back to prioritize what is strictly on the script. And I'm not saying that as a negative, because like I am actually very stubborn and I like to like have my way with how pages work. So I will bend and chop away at things no matter what it says on the script.
Well, okay.
He wants to have his way with the book. He will bend it and chop it and have his way with it.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
It's always funnier when somebody else explains it.
No, what I'm saying is that it becomes a logistical it becomes logistical back and forth between the artist and the writer when you're working. Obviously, like the best thing to do is to thumbnail together. I've found with the other artists that I'm working with, I have the script and everything. We'll sit down and we'll thumbnail. And the thumbnails provide all of the structure that we need, and then they have the perfect roadmap. And if they want to change a panel on the page, at least they know the bookends for the pages, especially because I like to absolutely plan my page turns and my narrative flow from the top left corner to the bottom right corner of that second page. So when you take one page and say, well, I think we need more time here. We need to draw this out, make this panel much, much bigger. So we'll just scoot the rest of this stuff over there. It kind of slams up into, the other page and makes it hard to, I guess, maintain that flow that you planned out. But if you're thumbnailing with your artist, that kind of communication that you can get from thumbnailing together really makes the book fantastic. And it's been a lot of fun. I've been working with Dillard and with Joe on the backup, thumbnailing with them. And it always gives me new perspective when I go back to thumbnailing with Garrett about how I've worked with other artists. And I take some of the tricks that I have learned there and apply it to your relationship with my primary artist. It's not like I'm going, cheating on Garrett or anything. I'm just working with as many people as I can,
They mean nothing to me.
I like that idea though of thumbnailing with the writer, as I don't think I've heard that before.
It's fantastic.
I'm writing my own book, but I have this weird work process
with the writer.
Yeah, but also I actually and this drives some people crazy, and it just some people hear this, they're like, because I don't really do a script. I go from prose straight to a rough thumbnail, and then I letter first, and then I start penciling. And because I think the script, sometimes you need to see the page, and you need to be able to see how the character is framed to tell if you can get that emotion across in the right way in that amount of paneling. And it's better to just, and that's the way that I work, is that's actually how manga artists work. So they the writers, even when it's a writer artist team in manga, the writer does the thumbnails, the layouts, even if they can't draw, it's like a chicken scratch layout sketch, and then the artist goes in and fills things out. So I think even if it's for American comics, maybe it would work better for people to tackle things with the writer and artist thumbnailing together. I don't think I've heard that before.
I don't know how they do it at the big two. I read the whole writing the Marvel way. I write differently. I write more.
They don't do that anymore.
That's a really outdated thing.
That's a couple of artists did. A couple of writers did that way back in the day.
Thumbnailed together.
No, they would essentially just have a loose description, barely any dialogue, and just basically a prose summary, and then let the artist go wild. They don't do that anymore. It's a script, it's a panel by panel script, and then I've never gotten pushback when I worked there about changing things. Usually when I had an idea, I was I think this panel and the script needs to be split up. They've been okay with it, but it is like a panel by panel script. So I don't know. I feel like working the Marvel way would be a really good idea, but they don't do that anymore. I don't know. What do I know?
Nick is shaking his head. I got used to writing scripts. I come from a background of theater and stuff. It's you use a script and then you visualize from the script.
I hate scripts. It's so rigid.
I love scripts. Oh. No, they give you a skeleton so that you actually have direction.
Especially when you're collaborating, it gives everybody else the idea of what you're trying to work with instead of a guessing game.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's why I'm not collaborating. So. Until we had to call it a book and you got brought on, and now you're very happy that I don't actually have a script to show you.
Well, I mean, but originally it was going to be monochromatic, right? It was going to be black and white.
Yeah.
Tones and grays. So
yeah.
Nick must be super stoked that you decided to make the entire thing color and bring him on, right?
I hope that he doesn't mind work.
It's a give and take thing because, it it has been really hard to work with the page, and I like bothering Irene about it. But like I told her, the fact that I had to work backwards with that also is what enabled me to use such strong colors on it, because it usually is not something that I get to do on a fantasy book like this, unless you're doing like pages of magic and stuff. So forcing it to try and put colors that would be able and burn through the inks to get to the middle and not look muddy was pretty fun. It's time consuming, but it's been fun to be able to work with that color palette.
Yeah, my artist is his own colorist, so he gets to do his own thing.
That's always super impressive.
I hate flatting.
High five.
Flatting makes everything slower.
You know, but like the thing is just it's also finding like the spot to do it, because like when you're pulling all-nighters and stuff, like my brain is dead.
Yeah.
I can go all day and go for another day and whatnot, but like at night I can be working at, but like I do not have the perspective to look at a page that I have finished late at night and say like, is this good? Is this bad? I don't know. I just want to go to sleep. So I'd much rather just put flatting on there, because honestly, I can just put something to actually watch and just autopilot through those things. The problem is having the time to be doing that. That's why you hire flatters, because you need them to be working through that, and just risk it that you know what looks like a good page or like a bad page at night.
No, sometimes there's some people who enjoy flatting, and you want to hire those people for that.
Yeah, I need to find some more. I need to find some more, because mine are having a hard time keeping the workload.
That's what I've heard. There's a shortage of good indie flatters that are available. I've heard from no less than 2 creators recently that they wish that their flatter could either keep up with the workload or that they could get a flatter at all. It's
hard because they're in high demand. So
yeah,
you know, sometimes like you have some good ones, but they're all booked up.
Right.
I know Sketchy Raven's little brother is her flatter. So teach your siblings basic color.
Yeah. I've got a few cousins in Taiwan that might need spare change.
Yep,
Thanks for the idea.
That's
Raven.
All Sketchy Raven, yeah. I was like, oh, can I borrow your flatter? She's like, it's my little brother. Like,
okay.
She
Sketchy Raven,
totally
she's
fantastic.
2.0.
She's what?
She's what, 2.0?
2.0.
She is not. Wow.
I said that on a Red Valkyrie stream.
Oh, unique people. She's much less annoying than me. Let's just and we all know it.
I mean, that's what you do.
Don't insult her like that.
That's what you do with subsequent iterations of a product, right? Like you try and smooth it out to be more palatable.
But you enjoy my loud abrasive.
Yo, Nick.
It's like the people that bought Beepers when they first came out. Like that was a waste of money, because those first models are more high maintenance, they're more expensive.
Like just so low key with the burn. It was so
breaking down. So you want to wait and just buy the second wave of them.
Yeah.
When they're optimized.
The second draft is
Why
always
am I doing this?
And
Why do I
probably
do these streams?
You're friends with these people? I'm just curious.
Apparently.
Okay.
So they can tolerate me, so I guess it's just the only people who stick around. You know. And I need a colorist, so I'll deal with it for now.
Look what she does for you.
It's nothing but love going around here. I know, yeah. I am very annoying though. So let's see, what does the chat say? Scream Steam? Thank you, Doug Ringdill. You heard flatter. I thought about Double D Lady Sweetie from The Flatter. You are a very creative person, sir. You should.
I'll redraw you.
Thank you, Apex Comics. At least somebody can tolerate me. All right. So, anyways.
Anyways.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
We were talking about this comic.
Right.
This awesome robot comic.
So yeah, originally it was going to be a screenplay. The world was too big the more that I started fleshing it out. So Garrett and I decided to do a graphic novel. Book 1 was inspired by the fight scene at the end of Sword of the Stranger, and I kind of built up a really cool story about 6 pilots and the antagonist, kind of as a way to like introduce you to the world, but also have you experience it on a very small scale focused level. We're really happy with book 1 right now. It's been redrawn twice. It's been redrawn twice. Okay, I'll make it fair. It's been redrawn once, and the second time it's had secondary edits, and it's been completely recolored. But what you're looking at now, what you're looking at now is the most current iteration.
Then what do you mean by redrawn? Like actually, like from the ground up?
I'd say 75% of the book. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some of it that.
So we have an editor, which I think is a good idea for everybody to have an editor, regardless of whether or not like you're new or whatever. You can put out your first work, sure, without consulting an editor, but if you have the ability to like have that luxury to bring someone on who knows more about comics and writing than you, or at least has like had experience. Like Irene, you probably know all about it, right? Working with an editor. Our editor gave us a lot of insight and told us like how what we were doing could have been done better. So they would show us, specific examples of things that were they done better or changed would allow us to convey the meaning better on the page. Like layouts could have been done differently. Panels that were muddy got recolored and redrawn. And so I'd say after the first pass went through the editor, we redid about 75% of the book. We weren't even in funding at that point. We were not even in pre-launch. We got into pre-launch when we'd had like, I'd say 70% of the book done and colored. And then as we were talking to people, we realized that we could probably do better on the colors. So then we went back and recolored everything.
Yeah, that's really impressive. I mean, I think that shows a lot of dedication, because it's most artists, like they finish a book and you look back and it's always like, oh, there's something you could have done better. But man, I don't feel like you needed to go back and redo everything. But if you hadn't like set a date and you weren't funding yet, then it's not like anybody's waiting for the book. I think the audience appreciates that you went back and made it better. And having an editor look at your stuff is always good. You have to find like someone who knows what they're talking about and understands your story. And sometimes that's hard because you definitely be paired with like the right editor as well. But it's more of just like getting a second or third pair of eyes on things. And honestly, even if it's as far as like, I would say people doing indie comics should try to get people to who aren't like their family or they're like
at
their
least
mom,
other indie comic creators, like other people who've seen what a comic book through the creative process should look like. I mean, sure, you can love comic books and you can look at comic books and go, I like that art or that panel was cool. But understanding like the foundational, I don't know, science is a bad word, but like the craft of comic books, like we read Scott McCloud, and understanding comics gives you a better appreciation for what it is we're doing when we make comics. Having someone who has that, I guess, experience, education, whatever you want to call it. They don't have to have gone to the Kubert school, but having someone who's made comics and can give you the insight that you need to make comics better, I found was incredibly valuable. Because when I talk about editing, I'm not talking about proofreading. I'm talking about people who will look at your sequentials and say, that doesn't read well, or this is too cluttered, or that needs to change, or this character on this side of the page talking first doesn't work. Just like the formulaic elements of how to read a comic book.
Yeah, the other kind of editing is what I do. I go through and find all the typos of proofreading.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I said.
It's good to have both, though, because you need someone who just can't, because you're too close to the work when you're working on it so much. And sometimes, you think that you just assume, of course the reader would know what's happening, but sometimes you didn't explain certain things enough, or your perspective is not the average person's perspective, and you need that point out.
John says,
I don't think Ariel does both things, even when she's only asked for one.
What?
Like when I ask you for some feedback on writing, you're really good about going through all of it, but then also you find all my typos
Oh,
at
it's
the
just
same time.
That is true. I think AC is my like de facto editor in some ways. Not officially, because you don't go through everything I do, but you do catch all my typos. And, yeah, she needs like an anime glasses shine right now. There you go. Getting more pairs of eyes on your work is definitely good, and I think in indie comics it's hard to do that because, especially for your first book, I think people understand if like you aren't able to do that. But yeah, if you do more than one book and make some connections in the scene, then it's good to find people that give you feedback.
I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna get some coffee.
So
okay.
you know our favorite kid brother Noah, right? NTM Comics.
Do I? I don't think I do.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure you've seen Noah around NTM Comics. He did a comic book with a similar name to ours. He did Mavericks with an X. I thought it was really cool that he did a piece of fan art of AR-15 orangutan, and he did a coloring job on it. And Bancroft had him come on the show, and they talked about the coloring, and they talked about how to improve the coloring, how to flat, because Noah wasn't really using flats the right way. I mean, the kid's 17. Maybe he's still 16. I'm not sure. But he crowdfunded his own book at 16.
Wow.
And he like it fulfilled and everything. I have the book. It's right over there. But the fact that he got brought on Bancroft's show, Bancroft, who is coloring Replicator right now, Rob Arnold's book, and he got the wisdom, from Bancroft and I guess from others. The Bartons were there too, right? And everybody kind of like pitching in to give feedback and information to him. I think that kind of embodies what we're looking at right now in the indie scene we're all a part of, is that people have the ability because they're doing it themselves and they have the capacity to do it. It's really, I guess, encouraging to see everybody come together and to share techniques, skills, resources. Billy's in the chat. Billy knows all about it, right? Billy knows all about the let's share our secrets and make ourselves stronger. So I would love to see some people out there who have really solid understandings of comic books and the grounded, foundation of how to make comic books, editing comic books. That'd be great.
Yeah.
I know Kimo Sabe does some story editing. I know Shay and Sai on Red Valkyrie, they do some editing also. But
yeah, they're editors on a few people's
I don't really know any of the other people in the group that kind of offer editing services.
Yeah, also there's a shortage of that too, because people who are editing, they're kind of, from what I've heard, pretty booked up. But I don't know. That's why we need more people doing indie comics.
Well, that's the thing. Like the better, we just keep putting out good books. Like I just got Testament. I was really enjoying going through Testament, and I'm showing it to a friend of mine. He's like, "Really, this is dope." Like who put this out? I was like, "Well, this is an indie crowdfunded comic. This is the thing we're doing." And he was like, "Wow, so these are like quality." I'm like, "Yeah, you could. I mean, you could say that, I guess." The better our books are, and the more
I guess the book's quality.
The better we do, and the more books we put out, the more they will reach people's hands, and those people will see the books, and the books will speak for themselves. That's what I think. I think if we just keep putting out great work, people will take it seriously. Haters are going to hate no matter what, but let's put good stuff out there. So when they hate on us, the book is the shield,
That is true. There's so much stuff in indie comics and on Indiegogo especially that's like, this is professional level shit. And I don't know, I remember when I was in college that indie books was stuff like, who's that guy who did this book about his relationship? He had like really tiny books and they were like chicken scratchy, and it was like Jeff something? His name was Jeff. But that and stuff like Blankets was like, Blankets or Habibi was the pinnacle of an indie book back then. And, and 10 years later, look at what indie books now. A lot of these books rival what Marvel DC Image is putting out. And I don't know, it just seems like with crowdfunding, with being able to promote on the internet, going to a publisher is not always the best deal. Because sure, there's a lot of like, having an editor is cool and having like the name recognition is cool, but also keeping all your rights is cool. And you have to pay if you're not famous already. If you go into Image, you have to like pay them to publish your book. So what's the point? That was
you don't want to be sharecropping a character for a living.
No, and I never want to do that. And then you realize after doing it a while, which is what I did, I thought it would help me boost my career, and I got a chunk of followers from working for Marvel. But then the longer I work for them, the more I realize they really don't care about you, and they don't care about your style. They don't care about like lifting you up or putting you on a project that ever really suits you. So
and that's rough for that to be like your professional relationship with your boss, where you're like, I want to do excellent job and further my career, and they're like, yeah, go sit down in the drawing room.
I'm sure it's not everyone's experience, but it got to the point. It's not, and for you guys, for HC and Nick, I know you guys were very lucky, honestly. You guys have met with like writers who like, or the stuff you work on, it was just like a perfect mesh. Like the stuff that Cullen writes is just like the exact style you want to draw, and then you guys work together really well, and they really respect what you do. And that was not my experience working with a publisher at all. It was the exact opposite. It was like, do this, and also it's a rush job, and also we're paying you less. And by the way, the only things we're offering you are not your style. And it was weird. It was weird.
Look, the great thing about indie is you can do what you want. You can do your book your way, keep your rights, and the audience, the backers, they know what they want. So it becomes more about giving what you want to give to people who want what you have the way they want it. And that's what we did with this campaign. We have a book about giant mecha. I want to make that book about giant mecha, and I have an audience that wants to buy that book. How do I sell that book to that audience? By asking them exactly what it is they want to buy. And that, I think, is like the key to the success of this campaign, rather than telling them that they have to have it a certain way, or if they don't like this part of this book, then don't buy it. It was about finding finding in them, having them tell us what it is they wanted to buy, and then just selling it to them.
That is true. That is true. The audience does know what they want.
Yeah. I mean, literally ask them. They will tell you.
Yeah, exactly.
They will bring you on a chat, and they will tell you all the things you're doing wrong. They will tell you what they want to, what you want you to do right.
And they're very supportive, though.
When you talk about it like that, about looking for your audience to tell you what they want, what do you mean by that? Because again, from what I understand, it's just you come over to the project, you put it up on the platform. What do you mean that your audience decided what the book was going to be?
Or did you like go on like Twitter and like survey them or something beforehand?
No.
So it wasn't like what the book, like the story, but for the campaign, like we kind of did a lot of research into what everyone is offering. We went in a bunch of different chats. We watched bunch of different shows. And then like once we had our campaign up, there were a couple of things that we did ask.
Kickstarter's cool. It's a great place to crowdfund a book, but what Kickstarter doesn't really seem to have is a dedicated user base that is, I guess, assembled around supporting the creation of indie books on their platform.
That's something that has.
I mean, I don't know if there's a subreddit for it, because I don't use Reddit. I don't know if there's like I know there are Facebook groups for Kickstarter, but I don't think that there's a community on Kickstarter the way that there is on Indiegogo, full of people who are both creators and fans willing to help each other succeed at both making and buying and selling books.
Not that I've seen. I tried looking for comic stuff on Reddit just to promote my book before I launched, and it was like nothing. There is a comics Reddit, and it's all like comic strips and jokes.
So that's what I mean. Yeah. Like, I have a book and I want to make it really good. So I'm going to ask people, hey, look at my stuff right now. Tell me what you think. Is it good enough? And they're going to go, color needs work. All right, well, maybe they know nothing, or maybe they know enough to know what they're talking about. Let me look at my color. Does it really need work? Maybe it does. Let's try and improve it. Hey, what should we offer as stretch goals? Hey, what kind of things do you like as extras on the campaign? Hey, what should the price points be? Hey, how many tiers should there be? These people will tell you exactly how they want to buy a book. Listen to them. That's all we did.
Oh, okay. It's like the way that you're saying it, it's just like, how did you have your audience decide your story?
No, not the story.
Well, like you have an idea, but like how the audience wants it delivered. Like first you have an idea, and like when you put the idea out, I feel like it's because people say, "Oh, you have to listen to the audience." Well, it's not about taking into every single complaint. Like you can't please everyone, but when you have an idea, you find the audience that is the most interested in it, and then you should do your best to take into consideration like what they request, and especially stuff like stretch goals and extra add-on items and price points and stuff like that. And that is something that you couldn't do with the publisher model. That is something that you can only do if you're crowdfunding a book. And
right,
I think people are leaning towards that.
You can't say, hey, I want to make a book and I want people to buy it. And the publisher goes, sure, let's do 27 variant covers. Well, what if we did one, but we also offered them a standee? You know, like what if we did a better job with finding out what it is the customers want and gave that to them? It just kind of seems like
I do think that there's
literally take a survey of these people.
I do think that there's a more open channel with publishers and editors than you guys are kind of making it out to be. Like everybody just talks about the variant covers. And again,
we did 12.
We come from a more privileged side here with having worked with a particular group. But
you guys are so lucky, though.
Options about how to promote the book, extras, or even contest stuff to actually bring out little standees, like you mentioned, or additional material can be talked over and has been done too with certain books.
Yeah, but when you're crowdfunding it, it's on you to do it.
Yeah.
So if you want to do it, you do it. And the only person who's going to do it is you. I can imagine, I'm not going to say it's what it is because I've never worked with a publisher like the situation you're in, but I can imagine going to my publisher and saying, hey, I'd like to do a giveaway. Will you make me standees? And they'd go, no, because that costs money. And we're going to have to order them, and we're going to have to manufacture them, and we're going to have to package them, and we're going to have to ship them. And we're a major publisher, and no one got time for that. But if you're a crowdfunder, you do, because it's all on you. That's what I'm saying. You can do variant covers. You just have to know how many variant covers your audience is going to want to buy, and you're going to have to know where to sell those variant covers. If you look at our campaign, we got a lot of people buying the basics, man. They just want the book, or the ash can because they want more book. You know, we got people buying both. We have a couple of people buying the tiers that give you one variant cover. And then we got a bunch of people buying the boxes that have all the variant covers and all of the extras and all of the add-ons, because those are the collectors. But you have to know who those people are and make something available for all of them. And it's not a one size fits all for the audience. I don't know if a major publisher has time for that. You know what I mean? Like they're in the business of publishing lots and lots of books. When you're a solo creator making one thing, you've got time for one project.
No, it's when it's maybe for smaller publishers, and that's probably why ACNX experience is different. You guys are working with Oni. But obviously with Marvel, if an artist is, unless you're like one of the heavy hitters, like they don't care what you say about, oh, I think it would be cool to have this supplemental like toy with this project. Like, oh my gosh, one time I remember in the script, they're like, a character changed into a new costume. Like it was a story point, their old costume was destroyed, they had a new costume. And I was like, oh, let me just be over enthusiastic. I'm gonna do a quick design, like a few design options. And I was like, hey, what do you think of this? Like, if it's bad, it's fine, but like, what do you think? They were just like, oh, you're not the one to design it. Like, it's not your place to design it. Essentially, what they said. It wasn't even like critique, like this is not good enough, so we won't use it. Like that's fine, but it was just it's not your place. So that's
this reminded me of something, Ari. You know, I was actually browsing internet like a few days ago, looking for some concept art, and when looking for sharks and or parasites, your design of Windpool and like the shark, the weird kind of sharkish thing kept popping up.
Oh, that's the only thing they let me design.
No, I'm not talking about like trying to.
That was fun.
This argument, but I was just gonna say, like, I started noticing like your design kept popping up on the searches.
Well, I mean, when you type
That's
shark
nice to hear.
parasite into Google, you might, get some weird search results, right?
Yeah. Well, that design was fun, and I was happy I got to do that. But it's not a being able to design things thing. It was sort of like that. Well, they let you have as much control as they control you.
I just thought it was a nice thing that it's just like I started because we were talking about having noticed your artwork like not too long ago. Like what was it like last or the week before? And so the fact that I was browsing stuff and your stuff started popping, I was like, oh, that's nice. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like when I started looking for art and Gustavo's art started showing up in collected folders, and so I just sent him a message that says like how popular he's getting.
Jason, are you okay? You look really fucking scared.
Yeah, Jason, hi.
I was waiting for the Grim Reaper to introduce himself.
No,
What's up?
I'm listening intently. I'm absorbing the knowledge.
You look like Santa Claus on milk.
I weigh as much as him too, so it's fair. Yeah.
No, you don't.
What's up, brother?
How's it going, man?
I'm doing good.
I just I'm gonna be finishing up the piece tonight.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Ooh, are you doing something for Mavericks?
Yeah, scroll down to the stretch goals.
It's not
It's
revealed yet.
Is it up or down?
Well, I can show the line art because I print it and then detail it if you want me
I
to.
think it's up.
Yeah, show it.
Yeah.
All right, I'll show it if you want me to. Share.
Exclusive sneak peek. Wow.
Hold on. Where is it? Share? Is it this button? It's this button.
Oliver, Presume 26, hello. We have so many.
Hey, what's up, Ollie?
What's up,
Ollie's got a
everyone?
special show tonight we should tune into.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's that? Is it on this channel?
He has got a brand new creator on his show named Connery, who's putting out that book Shift. So that's going to be an exciting show to take a look at, I guess, after something Bancroft.
I'm sharing my screen.
So much junk mail coming with this book. Yes, Eric. We're sending you so much junk.
There you go.
Nice. It's hot shot.
Sweet.
Yeah, and obviously I'm gonna be going crazy, hatching and adding.
He's gonna
stuff.
noodle. Yeah, he's gonna do the.
I'm gonna noodle it, so it's
thing.
like it's an original digital in a way, because it's an original piece. So yeah, and I'm gonna fill in some more stuff down here and
Is he coming?
I love him. Yeah.
Junk and stuff. Hey, look, Eric, it's a metaphor for all of the stuff coming in your box. Look at all the gears and junk and stuff.
I saw your campaign and it has 50 something comments. So it's just there's a lot of
It does?
Yeah.
Oh, she handles the
have
comments.
we
and
have a
stuff.
lot. We had a lot of questions at first, and then as we were unlocking stretch goals, people would
were
be like,
"What's the
"Oh,
next
you're
one?
so close to the next stretch goal."
What's the next
or,
one? Show me the next one.
Oh, that's
sometimes
nice.
a couple of them unlocked overnight while we were sleeping, and they're like, what's the next stretch goal? I need to know what it is. I'm like,
Did you guys hit Billy's?
I'll do it soon.
We did. We
by the way,
did
speaking
when
of
you
questions-
combine what's
Awesome.
on Kickstarter with
Awesome.
Indiegogo. Yes,
Awesome.
because we're combining stretch goals for the campaign.
Yeah. Cool.
But yes, we absolutely hit Billy's, and we're making Billy work really hard too. Don't
Good.
worry.
You should.
Don't worry, it's not
This
just
is
you.
good. People
It's not
like
doing
seeing this interaction. Look at all these updates. Look at this discussion. That's good. I see some people campaign's been 60 days and a few months after, and it's 2 updates. I'm I mean, as long as you fulfill, but feels a
I
little.
love my backers, man. I gotta say, that's probably the best part about all of this is when. What's that?
Yes, I see.
I keep remembering throughout the stream that I actually have a question for you guys. I guess maybe you guys already covered this, but you said that it's a graphic novel, but you also said book 1, and you said that it's 60 pages. Are you doing basically a mini series and compiling it into a graphic novel at the end, or is this a one shot that's 60
So,
pages?
I don't personally think anything
That's
that
volume
is.
1.
What's that?
It's volume 1. Obviously, it's a part of a mini series that you're going to compile into a graphic novel, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
I answered my own question.
That's okay, honey.
All right.
It's a first part in a longer installment. So, yeah.
Okay.
Cool! Yay! So, pivoting kidding. I have no good lead-in plan because I'm good at doing this. But we had a topic of discussion talked out before we started the show. We haven't like really addressed it. Let's get to that. We wanted to talk about the influence of, I mean, it was generally like the influence of anime on, you know, like, I guess American creators or Western creators, but like more specifically, because clearly this is a mecha book, it's like a big giant robot book. I think we can kind of lean towards influence of mecha anime, and MoBiggs is not in the chat, so you're safe.
Eric, don't you go get him.
No!
We're going to talk about anime and manga. Eric, don't you go get him.
I mean, he hops on my chat, and, you know, my channel is half Weavery, so
right.
Can't be that.
Half.
Yeah, mostly. Okay. 60%.
Well, you can see the influence of anime and manga style artwork in Fiendish. I mean, it's clear and it's good. You know, I think. Oh, he just texted me. Exactly. Shit. We have very limited time now, people.
Quick, tell us how much you love Evangelion.
I think it's if we're talking about giant robots, that's one thing. I mean, we can go back to like H.G. Wells, which is before comic books, and we can talk about the presence of giant robots in Western storytelling and how it developed parallel to this giant robot culture in Japan, and then the inevitable intersection of the two and how that became like something like Pacific Rim, you know, where you get like this more modern day evolution of something like Kaiju Big Battle that meets this westernized giant war machine aesthetic and becomes a really cool blockbuster movie. Or, you know, we could just talk about the fact that Japanese culture and animation and art has influenced our comic book industry for the past 30 years easily. And now a lot of artists have kind of grown up on a style that's sort of a fusion between old school Western comics, this sort of anime Eastern influence, and then stuff like the Belgian school, which is what Garrett, my artist, is like truly in love with. He loves like French and English, you know, like British, I should say, and Spanish comics. He loves, you know, Monera. He loves Mobius. He loves that kind of like school of art.
I can see
it. Why do you call it the Belgian school?
I never heard that term. I like it though.
That's what he calls it.
Well, it's because they're Belgian books.
Well, it's kind of like this catch-all, you know, industry. It's like the European industry, but I never heard like a school, because Japan is just Japan. The American style is American style, but the European style covers like 5 countries and also South America. So,
well, you guys, regarding this topic of conversation, I personally am interested in hearing about the interest in mecha, because the thing is, you know, especially considering that there's we go off Irene's stream, like the talk about.
Here, I'm gonna drop it. I'm gonna drop it in the chat for you. It's like Tintin and all that shit.
The talk of anime is very common, but although I hear it a lot on people that actually like mecha, since I never really grew up with it either, I actually don't know where people, especially in the West, actually latched onto mecha. Like, what do you, from what you guys, everybody, you know, knows or like or influence, like, do you guys see mecha having actually either influenced you guys or just you know, the West in general, or for it? Because I when I hear about it on like videos and stuff, like they go really far back and they start talking about like Gigantor and stuff like that, but like I don't really know many people that actually talk about those.
There's Gundam.
Tetsujin.
I think the
go all the way back.
Mecha.
Nah, man, Astro Boy, come on.
Okay.
I mean, he's not a giant robot; he's just a robot, right?
He's not a mecha.
Like we could talk about Robotech. You know?
Robotech, yeah, that's what I think.
Robotech was probably the first.
That's what I think of.
Fighters, you know,
Macross. The name a lot. Which one is Robotech?
With the variable fighters.
I'm not a big mecha person, so I actually don't know much about it.
That's like the main one I know. Yeah. That was the most popular over here, I think.
The jets that turn into robots, and there's the hybrid state, and there's the
kids,
Macross.
Transformers.
No.
So I don't know. I just don't know.
No, it was on Cartoon Network, also late at night quite a lot too.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
that's true.
Yeah, they had Toonami later also.
Oh yeah, Toonami. That's
a bunch of
I recognize that outfit on the main guy, but yeah, I never saw the show, but I hear the name a lot. So,
oh, sorry.
No. Just what was it that for the series, like what as they drew folks to it? Because like, for me, it's just I actually always skipped all the mecha stuff.
Why'd you skip it?
I think. Oh, give me a sec. I think it's because I was used to seeing when it had to do with robots as a kid, I would see a lot of the characters being like either being very closely tied or being a part of the military. And I found those characters very stiff and boring because it was all about dying for country. The war is terrible, but also look at us do war. War is cool, but man, the pain of war, dude. So it seemed very repetitive for me. So after seeing a little bit of that, I was just like, robots is gonna be about the same stuff. And I'll like the robot design, but then I'll be done with it and just move over.
Yeah, that's absolutely fair. Yeah.
I mean,
Belgian comics is a term. I've learned something new today. Carry on.
I think for me, like, I watched Robotech when I was like little, so I think it was just like, oh, this is cool. And I think the first time I saw it, it was just kind of like the spectacle of it, not necessarily anything else that kind of drew me in.
Oh no, yeah, of course. Like the visuals have to be like a big thing, I bet. But it's like even starting out, like in what do you guys call this? Toonami and stuff. There was a wave of anime that came out, again, for me, is I would like to learn because like I just never gravitated towards it, and I know that there's a lot of spectacle. Like, what kept you guys with those, and which shows like on that?
Giant robots, man.
Yeah. Voltron. I really like Voltron.
Yeah.
I guess you either like it or you don't. It's like champagne, right? Some people like it, some people hate it. Or quiche.
Oh yeah, sure. I'm not debating on like what entitled the show. I'm curious to see like what is it for someone that likes it. Like where does it go? Because like for me, it was like things that actually broke away from the usual look. So like before the stream, we were talking about Neon Genesis, and so like for me it was just like, oh geez, this doesn't look like a bunch of cardboard boxes stacked on top of someone. It looks sleek and athletic, and it looks very dynamic, and it's not about guns. Because I think coming from Latin America, I had a very negative view of action shows with being superpowers, because it seemed like they're gonna make a shot of a guy shooting and then change the shot to the guy receiving it and then shooting back like that, and not like more interactive fight scenes. Because I came up with like Saint Seiya and stuff, and that was like they took complete advantage of that to never have to really carry out the status of the battlefield or actually interact between two characters.
I'm not a huge mecha fan. Basically, the only things I've seen is like Evangelion, and I watched Darlene and Frank's part of it just for laughs. Because like, wow, the pose!
No, Rini only watched the scene with the bread and the honey. That was the only scene she watched.
No!
I would have loved to laugh about that with you.
So now you know my
that's honey, that's the one where like they go
you'll hate it.
It's not like it's like Pacific Rim where you have to synchronize with your partner, but it has to be male and female, and the female has to go doggy style.
It's only because the handles are on their butt. You know, like they wouldn't have to go on their knees.
Just
if
no other way to
somewhere
design
else
this.
on the suit. It's not the boy's fault that the handles are there. It's the design problem.
No, it's not a design problem. It's an easy way of economizing on machinery to be able to lead your partner so that they know you're leading by the hips.
Clearly, that's how all people are. Like.
It makes complete sense, I'm sure.
It's an economical use of space, right?
Yeah, it's very economical.
I want to make so many jokes that probably shouldn't make right now. How did they power those mecha? Well, now we know. Okay, so I'm not. Again, haven't seen a lot of mecha shows. I was into like stuff like Stranger and like historical battle stuff, like
Kenshin, that's I think one of the great things about
Kyo and shit like that. But what I did want to say was, I think that what I surmise why people like mecha so much is it's not just about the robots. Like the ones that do really well are stuff like Evangelion, and even stuff like other mecha series. It's about how the characters deal with a war-torn world and how they deal with each other, and it's about interpersonal relationships. And it's just really cool to have giant robots in the background. And I think part of it, this is my theory, it's like it's just like how, Ghost in the Shell, but it's a little more on the nose. It's like how people interact with technology. And it's like this new genre that was born as the world was being technologified. That's a word. And it's just about like, well, how we use technology to advance or damage civilization and to armor ourselves, and how we like trust it or distrust it. And that's a lot of the conversations that I've seen happening in mecha series that do well, that aren't just like metal boxes punching each other.
Yeah,
which is why.
Do you remember the first Gundam series?
Oh no, yeah. I don't remember the name of it, but I when we actually got to it, watching the original Gundam was really nice. I was very surprised that the characters were so interesting for a change.
Yeah, you're really into it.
TV shows,
so I did well.
Boring.
They're so pessimistic. It's like, they're all just boring characters and box punching.
No, but I'm used to it. I don't mean to generalize. And the thing is just I tend to crave like finding new shows. But it was, and I'm not saying that I dislike mecha. I actually started learning to, give it more of a chance with different shows, and I started liking it. Like when we're talking about going back to watch the first Gundam series, it was really cool, and I quite liked it. But I do remember kind of having the stereotype of just, it's these same topics going over and over, and the characters are not strong enough to hold it up to be interesting enough when going through the same stuff, because you have to have something that is interesting or takes a new outlook for it to feel fresh.
The majority of entertainment's just shit, right? I mean, that's just kind of the way that it is. It's just kind of shit. So any genre that you have, you're going to have shows that have crappy characters that don't hold up, and then you're going to have some shows that are really gold. I mean, some people love Voltron. If you watch the early episodes of Voltron now, they're shit. They don't hold up. And
I was so disappointed.
Enormous audiences at the time. I mean, you can say that's because of marketing and toys, but whatever. I
mean, look at all the isekai coming out. You have one Shield hero, and then like 50 million shit isekais that are formulaic.
Hey man, I want to spend my time as a slime in another world.
You said that you said that you were really disappointed.
Yes, I do want to pick up Girls in a Dungeon.
Girls in Dungeons? What?
Yeah, the show.
Got my attention.
Oh, which one?
It's a show that's
is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon?
No, it's not.
Nope.
No, I don't think it's wrong. I think it's okay.
Yeah.
Honestly, the best Icy Cup is.
Okay, you can't stop. Like, what were you saying?
Chimera, I miss you, bro.
I was asking Seek Girl. You said that you were really disappointed at something, but then you got cut out. What were you saying?
Oh no, he was saying if you go back and watch the original Voltron, it doesn't hold up. Like I remember it from when I was little being like so good and it was amazing. And then like I went back to watch it as an adult now, rewatching it. And like, I can understand why when I was little, like, I mean, like 7, 8, like why I thought it was cool. But as far as like plot and story, maybe it doesn't really hold up so well to like, what I can appreciate as an adult versus.
I think that's also one of the great things that you can do with mecha is that the pilots usually are just people. In some shows like Gundam, you've got new types, and I really dig the concept of new types, but no one's got superpowers or invincibility or invulnerability or can fly or anything. They're just dudes in suits. And they're fighting each other in suits. And some are better pilots than others, so they, I guess, are better. There's a great battle in Gundam 8th MS Team, which I equate this series as a lot like MS Team because it's on such a smaller scale. It's not taking place flying around outer space with laser rifles and stuff like that. It happens in a city. And you watch this this bad guy in a goof custom. Actually, this sucker right here. He's this guy.
Let's see.
Yes, another huge hobby. So he's there to take out these things called gun tanks, which are absolutely ridiculous looking. They're like the upper torso of a robot with giant bazooka cannons on their back, and the lower half is a tank tread. They're dumb as hell. No one would design that. But they have the long-range weapon capabilities to shoot something out of the sky. So this one ace goes in, and he's going to take out these 3 gun tanks, and that's his mission. And the 8th MS team is in his way. And it's a beautiful fight because it's about how this ace uses tactics and tricks these guys so that he can destroy the gun tanks. And then at the final showdown, the main characters, he's got him in his sights and he goes, "I got you," but he blows up the last gun tank, so he wins. And then he dies, which is fantastic because it's this very dramatic, like fight sequence where winning isn't killing the other guy. Winning is destroying the things that are going to kill your friend who needs to leave by flying away in a ship. Mm-hmm. And he dies in a kind of ignominious way, getting taken out by this squad of nobodies, really. But it's he's just a guy in a suit, He's just a guy in a suit with the veteran experience of how to fight a war under his belt. And these newbies totally just overwhelm him and smoke him in the end. I mean, he does make a mockery of them all throughout the fight, though. It's pretty great.
Maybe that you bring a good point. Maybe that's another appeal of a mecha series. It's like it is normal people, and it's again. I really think there's, and I haven't heard of normal people.
Yeah, it's just like how it's just kind of how Ness was saying. It's like we've been starting to follow a bit of Gundam a little bit here and there. But like I think like one of the things that more kind of lowered the stakes was when new types started becoming more and more popular.
More common?
Common. Thank you, honey. And so it's just like it stops being just guys and like learning about how to deal with this, like even ground and figuring out the machine. It's just someone that just has magic DNA or whatever.
Yeah, but new types aren't magic DNA. New types. The idea of a new type is someone who grew up in space, away from the Earth, and in space like that, being around humanity that's trying to survive together in like the sides, in space. The idea of what a new type isn't just space magic. It's people who are more in tune with their emotions and the inner workings of humanity within each other. That's why they can sense each other from far away. That's why they can tell when another new type's on the battlefield. There's a great story about new types in Gundam Unicorn. You should check that out because the kid in that doesn't know he's a new type. And they try, the whole war is about Laplace's box, which is understanding the key to new types and what new types represent. I love the idea of new types because like they're the next evolution in humanity. They're humans that aren't prone to the type of, I guess, savagery that we are, the type of carelessness, the type of easy hatred that we are. New types are more, I don't know, more evolved might be the best way to say it. But, you really haven't lived until you've seen G Gundam.
Which one is G Gundam?
It's the one where each country has a Gundam and they have like this big battle royale.
The fighting tournament ones. Okay.
Yeah.
I've watched none of this. I'm just gonna let this go.
If you want to talk about superpowers, right? You should watch G Gundam.
Yeah, I don't know them very well by name, but I did quite like when I think it's called War in the Pocket. I think it was called something like that. But that was a really fun one for.
I don't think I watched it.
It was actually about a bunch of little kids in a very.
Was that Iron-Blooded Orphans? Oh, it was 080. Yeah. War in the Pocket. Yes.
Yeah. Iron-Blooded Orphans. Thanks. Yeah, I know, that was really cool. It was a bunch of little kids, and they're in this really privileged side of the war where they cannot get fed the propaganda of how things actually work for the perspective of their side of things. And when they have this pilot that kind of crash lands from the opposite side, we get to kind of define how the war really works or how it doesn't work by kind of having these people kind of butt heads throughout the adventure. I really like that one.
Yeah, you like the more grounded, I guess, I call it terrestrial Gundam. It's Gundam that really takes place locally rather than like across the spans and eons of space and time and stuff. War in the Pockets, definitely, it's about a group of kids during the 1 year war in the Universal Century. Yeah, Iron Blooded Orphans is slightly different.
Oh, it is? Oh my God.
It's about they uncover a Gundam.
Alex.
And it's a bunch of kids who have something called the Alaya Vijnana system that's like in their spine that allows them to connect to Gundams, to pilot it like that as though they were a new type. But it requires like surgical grafting of something into your back. And it's really painful.
Are all these Gundam series connected to each other?
Yeah. A lot of them are. If they're set in Universal Century, most of the time they're connected. If they're set outside of the Universal Century timeline, they're not. But like stuff like Thunderball kind of stands alone, like Gundam Thunderball. That was a really cool Gundam series, mini series, movie. I don't know what you would call Thunderball.
I saw a few episodes of Gundam. It was the blonde-haired sunglasses guy. Is that correct?
The blonde-haired sunglasses guy. Yeah, he's very famous guy.
Who is he?
There's so many guys with blonde hair and sunglasses. You mean Char? The guy with the weird looking helmet and that's Char.
They make a Char for different
Char Aznable. Yeah.
This is really interesting because usually like the weebiest people on this panel are not mecha people, and like I think it's like separate. It's like mecha does really well in the West, but it's not an all anime fans thing.
I love how Replicant knows it. Replicant knows. He's like,
we're not selling it to Alex. I'm sorry. Alex bear me. Gundam Thunderbolt apparently has heavy human drawn tragedy. I like that. And I like that implanting in the spine idea. I like anything that involves like torturing people and putting people through pain. That came out wrong, but anyways, that makes good storytelling, though.
It sounds like something that would happen in like Ghost in the Shell. So I can see what you would.
Yes.
Yeah, you could just see the general just like actually like plugging in to something, or for me, you know what? I think I've said that before when talking about like I think my favorite scene from the movie Ghost in the Shell was when she was actually ripping that tank lid. Like I love the animation of her muscles just ripping open from the strain. That was really cool.
I like Tachikomas.
Tachikomas?
I like
found
Tachikomas.
them kind of annoying.
They're mecha in Ghost in the Shell. I mean, what do you want from me, man? The gun tanks. Come on. It's the closest thing you're gonna get.
No, but like is it? Don't you have to be piloted for it to be a mecha? I thought that those things were just little machines with annoying.
You can pilot them, but they also have an AI. So.
Oh yeah, but not.
Yeah, it's people found them kind of. People say they're cute. I find them kind of annoying. I feel like they're like, oh, this show's too serious. Let's put this cute thing in there.
If you're watching SAC, if you're watching Standalone Complex, they can definitely get a little bit annoying because they're all like chattery and all of that other stuff. But,
and like Standalone Complex was a second gig. Well, in second gig, they weren't as annoying.
When you're watching Arise, it's a little bit, the Tachikoma are a little bit different.
Well, because they weren't Tachikoma, those are Huchikomas. Yeah. And also, the major was different.
See, now your read card is showing.
Well, okay. Do you want to know how much I love Ghost in the Shell? I have a Ghost in the Shell tattoo, but I'm not going to show because it's on my ankle, and this is the internet. But
so you don't want to show your feet? I got her this close on my show, guys. I got her this close to showing her ankle.
No.
They almost love them ankle shots,
right?
I mean, it's a risk.
Well, it's on the Valkyrie stream. Let me go find it.
She did do it on Valkyrie, didn't she?
I did. It was like about 5 beers in.
One in the chat if you want to see Reedy's feet.
Oh my gosh, you guys! What are you doing to my stream? We'll probably get a lot more viewers that way, though. Ghost in the Shell was freaking awesome, man. It's not really mecha. They had like exosuits sometimes in they had exosuits in some parts of second gig? I think was it second gig or was it Standalone Complex?
I don't know.
They had exosuits in the first one. in the first.
Oh no, it's Solid State Society. Solid State Society. They were definitely exosuits.
All of that future tech stuff is fascinating to me. That's the stuff that I love to write about. I write speculative fiction. I write near future sci-fi stuff that's like in that time frame, stuff that we could kind of chart how to go from here to there. That's the type of sci-fi that I really dig. You see, and a lot of that of Gundam, it's kind of like you brush that part off. It's like, yeah, whatever. We're in space and we're flying giant robots, and there are satellite colonies because, of course, there are. That's just the way it is. Right. But I really dig the stuff where you can kind of look over your shoulder in that sci-fi and kind of see where we are today, and kind of imagine that. Oh yeah, it makes total sense that we evolved out of that, and we got to the setting of the show, which is why Mavericks had to be more than just a movie, which is why it had to be more than just a series. We had to turn it into this series of graphic novels. Origins is just the first one. There's the rest of the books, even after volume 1 of Origins, there's a whole nother series that builds off of this, because once you're introduced to the world, you kind of know how things work. You have a feel for the technology. You have an understanding of the setting, or at least a familiarity with the setting. Then it can start talking to you about it, and about the stuff that you'll encounter in Ghost in the Shell. Transhumanism, artificial intelligence, future war, the stuff that we really should be thinking about right now as people living in this world. Because the world of the book is just over the horizon. Like they talk about the singularity. That's something that I want to address in fiction. Yeah. We talk about using robots, actual robots, not mechas, but robots on the battlefield. That's something I want to talk about. UAVs, unmanned vehicles, drones, that kind of stuff. Dude. I want to talk about that. I want to examine that and discuss the effects of it and approach it from both sides. Why would we use them? Well, it's good for these reasons, and it's bad for these reasons. It's not supposed to be a condemnation or a celebration of a thing. It can't be one-sided, because to really give a good picture of a world, a future, any world, you have to be able to see the complicated elements in everything. It's a mixture of good and bad in everything, right? And that's one of the reasons that I don't like a lot of the comics that we have right now. Everything is so one-sided. Everything it is this way.
Especially with mecha and technology, I noticed that someone made a breakdown somewhere, and I think this is very much true, where media regarding technology in Japan tends to be very trusting of technology, tends to be like, well, it's okay if how good the Ghost in the Shell is. Oh, it's okay to lose my humanity, my sense of self. It's about integrating into the net, and that's okay. But that's horrifying for the West, and usually stuff like American media, stuff like Skynet, it's a threat, and even in WALL-E, it's like the AI is not to be trusted, and it's like cultural exploration in a way, and. All this stuff really came up on us fast, because I remember I first saw Ghost in the Shell in high school, and it's all this stuff is far future, so we're not gonna be there by 2034. And now I'm we're gonna be there. And it's I think we have the technology. It's just about not cyber brains and stuff, but look at cell phone technology now and look at how hooked in people are. It's just about it's not exactly in our brains, but super close.
I think I thought I brought this up in one of our private chats, but we were I was watching Shark Tank, and there was actually a guy that was trying to actually sell the idea of implanted cell phones.
Surgery to implant it into your ear.
Mm-hmm. No, it's just it was on the side of your head. On the side of your head. So it's it'll be connected to the side of your inner ear and stuff like that. I was so it's just coming out with that stuff, and everybody was
a world of trouble.
But remember, even everybody was just this. Your sales pitch is so bad on this. It's horror. And even the guy that was actually trying to but let's think about this. Could this be a good investment? He was but you have not thought out anything about what happens when the technology becomes obsolete.
What happens when you do this update?
So it's the guy had not thought about anything, but it was kind of cool to see. Oh man, I am alive during the time where someone has actually started suggesting put a phone inside your brain.
Like, how annoying though would it be if it even malfunctioned? It's like how to get it fixed. You need surgery.
What if you don't know how to handle it?
Like, what if it
grandma with the alarms or something?
Right. What if it just like screams in your ear or something, and it's like, man, you have to cut yourself open every time just to fix your phone? Like, think about these things. No. Yeah. By the way, I want to say I appreciate the setting. There are answers. But I want to hear your answers. But just really quick, I want to say I appreciate the setting. I have like a mild fascination with like Mongolia and Ulaanbaatar and like that area, like Gobi Desert, and I think the setting is really cool because I don't see that a lot. And it's like there's a lot of studies like it's America or Europe or even a lot of like Egypt for some reason. All the post-apocalyptic manga are in Egypt. It's not just Attack on Titan. It's a lot of them. Yeah,
we were extremely thorough with our research on Ulaanbaatar because other than knowing how to pronounce the name, I know a lot about that city.
Cool. That's really cool.
We studied the Sukhothai Square, the Blue Sky Tower, Hotel Genghis Khan, like the layout of everything. Because if you're going to write about something, you kind of have to know what it is you're writing about, right? Mm-hmm. Otherwise, it comes through as inauthentic and I guess contrived. So if you are at all familiar with the city, you will see landmarks. You will see little nods to the architecture. There's a Pizza Hut in Ulaanbaatar.
Let's take a look.
Just near the edge of Sukhothai Square, and we threw that in there because it's not a Pizza Hut, it's a Pizza Shack.
Right.
Yes.
You
can't call it Pizza Hut.
But there's a joke between Aaron and Garrett and me that like
our timelines
diverged from our reality to Mavericks when, on that parallel timeline, the guy who invented Pizza Hut named it Pizza Shack instead of Pizza Hut, and that's how you got Mavericks.
Oh, right. Clearly.
That's the point in time.
That's when everything just diverged.
It's a creative decision. Totally not about not getting sued.
I'm trying to remember what science fiction movie from the 90s was it where like the future city was just covered in modern day brands. I remember it was like
Idiocracy?
No. It was what is the one that was like Arnold Schwarzenegger wants to go to is like going to Mars and stuff?
Total Recall.
Yeah.
Double Recall. I remember there was like a bunch of like there's a bunch of Pizza Hut ads on like the side of like the futuristic city when you're walking around there.
Hey man, it's a strong brand. It'll be around forever.
It's just really funny to see it.
Oh my gosh. Replicant says, smartphones get malware, no smartphone in head, please. I like that your name is Replicant.
Very good point, Replicant.
It's very good.
Replicant knows what's up.
I don't know if this is common anywhere else because I never had to deal with this in the US, but here in Colombia, the mobile companies actually force this thing where like you can be offline. And you can just have your cell phone just lying around. But they will start sending you ads.
You guys live near an airport?
That's me.
Oh, okay. Bless you.
I'm hungry.
So it's like they'll start bombarding you with ads about like their own like discounts and stuff for the thing. But neither one of the buttons for the ad work, neither to cancel
like okay or cancel,
cancel. So you can't do anything about it, and it'll pop up in the middle of anything that you're doing. You can be typing out a phone number to call someone. It can jump in there and interrupt you. It can interrupt you when you're watching a video at any point. And the only way to get out of there is to actually press the home page to just back out of that.
And this, how often does it come up? It's like
every 15 minutes.
And you're not exaggerating by that. It's like literally like every 15 minutes it just pops up on your phone.
Yeah, I don't know if that happens anywhere else, but it's super annoying here.
That's freaking annoying. How can they be allowed to do that?
I straight up just leave my phone in the corner because I don't deal with it unless I'm making a call.
That's a pain in the ass.
I don't know Spanish too well, so luckily Nick gets to deal with all of that garbage in my stead. But it sounds pretty annoying. The phone companies here are awful.
Yeah, you want that in your head? Think twice about that. Oh, just the potential for abuse.
I think that Terminator did a lot of damage to future optimism. So
yeah.
I consider myself a future optimist because technology does, it's neither good nor evil. It's how we use it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It poses incredible potential to improve our lives by integrating it. But if it's integrated wrong or carelessly, haphazardly, or taken advantage of, then it's just going to be the ruin of us.
Yeah.
I think Skynet is synonymous with what people think when they think of artificial intelligence and the future. And look, the first rule is just don't give the computers guns, okay? Just don't give the computers guns. It's like giving the monkeys spears. You know, you don't do that because it's dangerous. Not without programming it, but the right way. But I've always thought of artificial intelligence kind of as a child. You know, like if you teach it the right way, to think the right way, not what to think, but how to think the right way, then it's not going to lead to the extermination of all life on the planet. And it's definitely something that I do want to get into talking about in Mavericks because, you know, it's a sci-fi property and I have the opportunity to do that. But I really think that we need to be a little bit more optimistic about the future.
I think I'm optimistic about this stuff too. I think technology is very fascinating, probably hasn't been apparent from how I've been talking about this. Again, there's a reason I'm a huge fan of Ghost in the Shell, but I think it's more of a like Skynet and stuff like that, and that's a little like comical almost to me because technology is what we make it. And I think the biggest danger I'm concerned with is not technology, it's people. As people becoming too reliant on technology, they forget how to do stuff themselves. They forget how to use memory or create, or it's over-reliance on technology, and we're already seeing that. And I hope that doesn't, well, that's probably going to be a problem. But yeah, technology is whatever you program it to be, and we should be careful and don't, you know, become like, make sure it is following us and not the other way around. But again, it's very fascinating, and the potential for how once AI is advanced enough to free up like some of like the basic labor all around the world. Imagine, and like, so humans don't have to go to war, humans don't have to like mine oil, don't have to put themselves in danger. Imagine how much intelligence, like human free time that frees up for normal people to pursue different things. And I think that'll be a huge shift in the paradigm. So I honestly can't wait to that. I just think people should be careful.
It won't work without a new step in what we would consider social evolution and social consciousness. I'm not talking about like growing, you know, thumbs again. I'm talking about like interacting with each other and with the world in a new way. Without doing that, without achieving that, the integration of robotics and intelligent robotic systems into society is going to have a bad end.
Right.
Yeah, now Norin's talking about transhumanism. That's a great subject.
I want my brain transferred into the giant Gundam they got in Japan.
They got two now. They got two.
They have more than one.
I saw
that
thing. It's so cool.
The one on Odaiba that transforms is
I just recently saw the video of just one moving, which I thought was so badass. They have two.
They have two. Yeah, they built one that actually walks.
No, yeah, that's the one. That's what I remember.
They have the other one.
The other one's that transforms,
and it just changes.
It's still a Gundam though.
Yeah, it is. It's totally Gundam. But it just...
Yeah, I only saw the white one that it lights up and moves a little. It transforms, yeah, but it doesn't walk.
Yeah, that's the one that we saw when we were there.
Mm-hmm. I was like, I mean, again, I didn't really watch Gundam, but it was still really cool to see in person. And I want them to do Evangelion, but they probably won't do one anyways.
They've done plenty of Evangelions. They've made 4 OVAs now. They just keep making more Evangelion stuff. They'll probably make one. They can't stop making Evangelion stuff.
Well, and aside, I remember that I think in what theme park is it in Japan? I think it's their Universal Studios or something, that they actually do have an Eva ride.
I think they have a bullet train that's Ava, and they have Universal Studio ride. I think it's Universal, and they also have like Ava cafes, and it's everywhere.
No, yeah. But yeah, I remember the simulated ride of being an Ava. I said I would love to go on that one.
That would
I remember when we actually got to go to the US, because it was like a big deal as a little kid. I got to try out some of the simulated rides, but it was
Where
like
they dunk you in water and drown you, and then
well, yeah, because it was like the one that they had was one where you are going on a helicopter in a I think it's like North Pole rescue or something. Like someone was like stranded there, and so you're going there, and you eventually obviously fall. And there's like polar bears and stuff. So I remember like crying and being really scared as a little kid. But you know, it was so cool, and I never got to do that over here. So man, going to do that on an Ava, that'd be awesome.
So Japan is a magical place. Everybody should go when we are allowed to travel again. That would be lovely.
So I couldn't leave him alone in the airport because I was afraid he was gonna try and like ditch me to like not get on the plane to go home because he didn't want to leave.
We went to Hawaii on the way back. I was very, very despondent in Hawaii, so she booked us another week back in Japan so I would cheer up.
Oh my gosh! That's nice. So you literally had to like fly back across the Atlantic and be like, I need more time in Japan.
It was so cheap because like to get him, you know, like kind of like to perk up again. Like, well, why don't we plan when we can go back? So we started looking stuff up, and of course, it was showing us like current prices from where we were, which is in Hawaii, and it was like so cheap compared to like coming from the East Coast all the way there. It was like nothing to fly back and forth. I'm like, well, we have a bunch of vacation points, and we have the time to do it, so why not do it now? So
that's so cool.
What's the Hello Kitty thing for?
Pearland.
Yeah, we went to Pearland.
Pearland.
An exchange. She took me back to Japan, and I said we could go to Pearland. So we went to Pearland.
Oh,
it was
that's
fun.
awesome.
No, it's legit. It's
when did you go?
We went actually like 3 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, we spent all of September into October. A week of that was in Hawaii, but yeah, we left like right before my birthday, September 3rd, and we came back like October 15th.
You were there just before me. I did Tokyo Comic Con that year.
Oh, cool. Let us know when you're going.
I love that show.
Plan to meet up in Kyoto or someplace.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Kyoto's awesome.
I love Kyoto.
It's so chill. It's not Tokyo, but it's so chill.
Yeah.
I like the more. I mean, Tokyo is cool, but I always, when I visit somewhere, I like to go out into like the boonies instead of like the big, because those cities are, you know, just cities. You figure it out pretty quickly. Starbucks everywhere, but like I like to. One time, the first time I went to Japan, I went with a group of friends and we booked a hot spring hotel Hakone, and that is a hot springs that you can see Mount Fuji from, and it was like a completely traditional, like even the breakfast was like Japanese style breakfast.
Yeah, we did the
Mavericks
onsen.
Outside the windows, and either when you're in the onsen and when you're in your hotel room, you can see Mount Fuji. It's like
cool. Yeah, we didn't wind up going there. We like had originally tried to plan to do like everything all at once, and then once we were there, we kind of like pared back a little bit and like, no, we need to make a separate trip to do like different regions, because it was just, there's just so much that we wanted to do and so much that we wanted to see, and we wanted to like actually be able to experience it and remember it instead of just trying to cram everything into one trip. So we didn't.
I'm going back as soon as I can travel again.
Yeah,
you can come with.
Oh, thanks.
It's like you may accompany me.
I mean, I don't know how I would travel on my own.
I was gonna say, I'm like,
plan everything anyway.
Yeah.
You
were just like living in our cave.
I mean, that sounds. Are you one of those people that you say you buy a plane ticket to go somewhere, but you don't plan anything else? It's like, I'll find a hotel when I get there. I'll figure out what to do when I get there.
So we kind of, what we usually do with our best trips that we've had, we'll plan like the first, depending on how long we're going, we'll plan like either the first couple of days or the first week. So we have a set place of where we're going. Like we get off the plane, we know we're going to a hotel, a city, like, right.
And while we're at home base, we figure out where to go.
Right.
Next.
Then we kind of like feel out how things are. Like we talk to people, we get suggestions of like, you know, where do they love to go? What part of, you know, like their country do they love? And then we kind of plan out as best we can from there. Like some of it doesn't work out. Like some of the suggestions, just like time wise, doesn't work. But on like our best trips, we're kind of planned at least slightly on the fly.
Well, we always have a reason to go, right? Like when we went to Cyprus, we went to go see the turtles.
Yeah, like we'll have like one thing. Yeah, you can hold baby turtles and then let them go into
the ocean. So they have
a
turtle project on Allegany Beach.
Allegany
Beach.
Yeah,
and so they protect all the green turtles and the loggerhead turtles that go to nest there. And like the nests, the hatchlings go out into the water. And then the next morning, the ecologists will come and they'll like excavate the nest to like count how many eggs there were, to like keep track of it, and sometimes
to let out
there
any
are
of the
little ones that are trapped.
Yeah.
So they'll take those out and they'll observe them for the day and they'll hydrate them and they'll wash them off, and then you can volunteer for a turtle release where they will let you release a baby sea turtle into the ocean. And it's I like people
and it's run by Exeter University. It's like there's a whole scientific ecological aspect to it where like they're trying to make
it's not a tourist attraction,
right? I mean,
it's in Turkish Cyprus too. It's not like the commercial part of Cyprus.
They let tourists come and do it because it helps fund the project. But
anyone.
This is now a travel channel, everybody. Go
Can you get turtle soup
and do cuddle baby turtles.
I'm not the type of person that like seems like the oh my god it's so great, but that was a life-changing experience. Letting a baby turtle go in at night with the moon to guide them into the ocean was just like, okay, fine, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Fine, I have a little sentimentality.
The shell, it was just so cool.
Yvonne says we can't not plan trips because we won't get visas.
I know, I'm screwed. I can't go anywhere.
So is it turtle soup in Japan?
Because he's also Colombian.
Yeah.
Can you get turtle
It's
soup
not
in
that bad
Japan?
for Americans.
It's very tough. It's very
What did you
tough.
say,
for
Kamara?
Filipinos.
Can you get turtle soup in Japan?
I'm sure you can get soup of almost anything in Japan.
Yeah, we didn't have it.
You could get anything, yeah.
But
yeah, they eat some weird stuff there as well.
It's not quite Madripoor, but it's close.
Let's see. Well, I was looking at your extra items, and I'm very impressed. Is the comic going to come in this box, like one of those boxes?
The collector's boxes.
So the collectors. If you order a certain,
If you order that tier,
that
that right there that you're looking at is the tier. That's the fully loaded campaign box.
Okay, so only this tier will come in that.
You get the super badass box because you're also getting every variant cover. So you're getting 7 books.
Plus the special wraparound.
Oh, is that a wraparound cover? Or is that like $2 that connect?
That's a wraparound.
That's a wraparound. Okay.
That's an X-Men #1 Jim Lee homage by Pal Rodrigues. Perfect 10.
Nice.
So that's exclusive to that tier. You can't get it through any of the other spare magazines, but the spare magazines are all included in the campaign box. So you get the 5 regular variants, the special variant, which is wraparound, and the base books. You get 7 books plus the active duty ash can, which is technically 8 books, and then you get all the metal prints that of the Virgin cover art, and you get the Mike McMahon print and a bookmark and all the extra stretch goals and stuff.
Sweet.
Dog tags.
And the dog tags, right?
You got a dog tag.
The dog tags have a QR code on the opposite side. So when we launch the MAVRICS.com website, which is coming in December, it's currently being built by Moxie. You will be able to scan your QR code on the back of your dog tag, and it takes you to the pilot registry database on the website, where you will have made a customized profile for a MAV pilot in setting in universe.
Oh,
so
that's so cool!
Sign, we draw a likeness. It doesn't have to be you, but it should be you.
Oh yeah, sure.
You totally want to be more
like,
as a map. Then you pick your map and your weapon system and your colors and.
Oh my gosh, that's such a cool thing to have. Man, getting like a custom website done is so much work though.
It's a little pricey.
And it's pricey. I mean, you're not doing the work, but it's a lot of work to hand over that money because it's painful. But it'll be awesome. Can't wait to see it. I was going to ask you if you had a website for this project because it's so expansive. It sounds like you would have a website for it.
Yeah, we have.
We know.
We own the domain. It hasn't
We have the Global
being
Frequency
built.
website, which is where the project is listed, but we wanted a website for Mavericks because Mavericks is going to be like a thing that we work on, I guess, until I'm dead. Yeah. I'd love for it to go multimedia.
That's the spirit. It is for the long run, all of us, till the day we die.
Yeah, I can't stop now. Apparently 300 people want the book, so great.
Yeah. I mean, surprise, you have to. Yeah. You're going to have to ship books now.
Yep.
People want your project.
You'd be surprised how many of my skills from teaching kindergarten for so many years carry over to like a campaign. I didn't think that it would, but a lot of it actually really did.
There you go, audience. You got burned.
No. I meant like the
I was like, who are you burning now?
Well, she's burning MAVRICS.
Oh, okay. Mavericks.
Oh, sorry. I was laughing through all that. I couldn't hear. What was the explanation there?
MAVRICS. She's burning MAVRICS.
No.
Bo hasn't
So
shown
she's
up yet. I'm disappointed.
Used to teach kindergarten, which means that she has like all of the coordinating different people doing different things, herding
Oh, you mean
cats.
amongst your like the team making the books?
Yes, not the backers. They're backers.
Like,
She means me and all of the other artists and
Right.
all of the merch proofs and all of the printing and all of the
like
other
the
stuff.
planning and the logistical
Dude,
stuff.
we had
Like it just
spreadsheet.
kind
We had
of
spreadsheet. There are
there's
a lot of
stuff
people on
that
this
carries
campaign.
over.
Reed. There's like 30 people on this campaign with all of the different prints and the release schedules for the stretch goals and like the getting the physical proofs done for all of the merchandise. It was logistically, it was a lot of work.
Sounds like a cool.
Yeah.
You have people helping you?
No, I had people making more work for me.
I mean, well, that's the same thing, but
Yeah, I mean, like
Oh.
Frequency Girl handled the majority.
that was jealousy. That was jealousy from me. Oh boy, yeah, that's a lot of work. I don't know. It's easy to say. You also have a lunchbox. That's awesome.
Yeah,
It's easy to
Chris
say. Even just like making prints. It's like
I didn't know it was a lunchbox.
it's like making a print file and making products. It takes so much more time than you think because there's always some kind of problem that crops up. So then you have to handle it yourself. And then if you're also creating a book, then you're taking time away from creating the book. And then it's like also logistics. You have to make sure they're paid, and then you have to make sure the product gets here. And then you have to like sort everything out to make sure numbers are right and like pack the products and make sure like the right people get the right products. And my gosh,
I've yet to see a body pillow on this campaign.
What'd you say,
that's
Kendra?
all you think about.
I've yet to see a body pillow on this campaign.
There's
Not
no
yet.
body
No,
pillows.
there's no body.
No
pillow.
Because Irene is going to do a Ragna body pillow.
Well, to be
Yeah, it's Irene's next stretch goal.
to be fair, Chimera, we did
Sure.
say some of the stretch goals on the campaign are darkened down, so we don't know what the mystery ones might be.
That's true.
That's true.
There you go.
I'm sorry I spoiled it, Irene. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're not supposed to. It's fine. It's fine.
Oh no! Phoenix Animation wants me to tell everyone about the time Mavericks made a girl cry at the convention.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll do a Casimir body pillow just to make up for
No,
it.
ew.
It's not for you, Chimera. You can get the Ragnar one. God.
But most of the
Yeah,
audience are male. Why would they want a male?
You're just like saying, no, I do not want that.
Yeah,
Don't
okay.
give that to me.
Right. I do not want that, therefore don't make that. Some people might want it. Don't assume.
Some people, like 1% of your audience, like
I got a body pillow from a campaign, from the Adobe Kroger campaign. I remember opening it up and going, "What the fuck is this?"
Because it didn't come like
It was a perk on the campaign, and I didn't notice it. It was part of like the long list of things that you get, and it was a body pillow.
and it didn't come with any of the other stuff or from
It just
like
came in its own box.
the return address was like nondescript. It wasn't like
I have to
such and
say,
such
I was a
comics or
bit-
anything like that.
I was a bit put off.
Okay.
I didn't know what was going on, but after a while, I was like, it is a nice pillow.
Oh gosh.
Like it's a good size for like.
so. How'd
Yeah,
you make a
they
girl
make it
cry?
that way
You have to
for
go
a
back
reason.
to that story.
What happened?
What?
How'd you make a girl cry at a convention? I mean,
Oh,
Oh, right.
it was just. She was. I guess she wasn't in a good place. She was probably beleaguered by the world. I was sitting there at the con booth, and she saw the chibi stickers that we have that Sketchy Raven did for the convention, because the chibi stickers on the campaign are completely different from the stuff that we've been
not
selling.
those
Those are Chibi Selena chibi stickers, and we've got Sketchy Raven chibi stickers. So she comes up and she goes, "Oh, these are so cute. What's this book about?" And I said, "Well, in an alternate future ravaged by a global collapse." And she goes, "Ah, it's too scary." Like literally just started freaking out, because I guess the world was too much and she didn't want any more scary stuff. She said she only wanted cute things. So
was it like a little kid?
No, she was a 20-something-year-old woman. So I gave her a sticker to kind of cheer her up, but she didn't want it. I've never had an experience like that before. Phoenix was there, so
that's why he knows.
That's why he knows.
No, you red pillager.
I mean, I feel bad.
I did.
But I also don't understand.
Little girl PTSD,
like it was weird.
Except she wasn't little. She was like 23.
Yeah.
Gotta grow up sometime.
Awkward situation, because we just kind of stopped. I'm like, I don't know how to
deal with this.
Help you. I'm sorry.
She had her mind.
Like I felt really bad, but at the same time, it was just like it caught us so off guard. Like 5 words into the pitch that she got so upset. So it just it was very surreal.
There was something else going on.
I was curious. Since you're at a convention, was there a certain smell there? I've been to 2 conventions.
I was just at GamerCon last weekend, and that smell was there. Yes.
I think I've desensitized myself to it. I just bleach my nostrils before going to every convention. So that's how I survived so long.
Are you guys talking about something in particular, or just lack of
convention stank?
Con stank.
Con stank.
So, lack of hygiene from people? Is that what you guys are talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Pizza odor.
It's always that mild. It's
all
mild,
kind of,
the light smell in the background. I mean, sometimes if they crank up the AC so it feels like you're in the Arctic Circle, then it's okay.
That's what happened to Phoenix.
And I hate it, but also it's at least it doesn't smell. Now I'm freezing because I hate the cold. Oh my gosh. Sergeant Kadium says, "Way to blow us out." Yeah, you should have just been like, "Yeah, this book is about cute chibis and it's really loving and it's all about cute flowers and it's about cute little robots that are hugging each other." And then you just tell her the book, and then she can cry out of your sight, and that's how at least you have her money.
Give you the money, and then she can go cry by herself.
Yeah.
I guess if I was better at pitching, right? If I pitched my book better, if I was better at pitching, then I probably would have made that little girl cry.
You have to get the vibe.
It's a story now.
How would you be able to predict that? But I don't know. You have to be able to understand the vibe coming from people. It's like, oh, this person needs to be pitched this way. Just lie about the book.
You never know what's going on with people. I really hate to judge. That's rough.
I do feel bad for her.
It was the one time that we.
No. I don't really get it.
It was just something we hadn't experienced before. It just kind of caught us off guard.
I just tell her get away from my table if you're not going to buy anything.
Well, you're an asshole, so that's you.
I could see that happening. Some woman crying at Chimera's table and him just being like, "Buy or leave."
Yeah.
You're getting tears all over my. You're getting tears all over my face.
Can you guys tell Chimera's a really nice person?
I love him. He's my spirit animal. He does all the things that I wish I could do. He says the things I wish I could say.
I'm actually much worse in real life.
Yeah.
I can, I attest to that. I think, I don't know. It's part of me is I would want to make fun of just be really cold, but it's well, I think honestly your situation is describing not to drag on this time too long, but that was a little much. That was a little ridiculous, but most of the time, we all have a bad day. So I think we should all try to put ourselves in their shoes because, it might happen to you. You don't want somebody to just treat you like shit just because you're having a bad day. So.
Well, we were very nice to her.
Yeah. But, didn't make that sale.
Nope, no sale. It's a good thing that she didn't buy our $1 preview comic.
Oh, you needed that dollar though.
I know. Cover the cost of the con table. Well, the sweatshirts were flying off the racks.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's good. That's good to know. Let me see if we.
It's because they cranked up the AC.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, that's smart. Oh, that's totally smart. I'm totally going to have sweatshirts at the next convention. Well, I don't even.
Oh, I love that. I always wish I could afford sweatshirts when people offer them, but gosh, they're so great when people do.
They did have some really
Great idea.
t-shirts last time we were
Yeah.
here, so I think it was a shame though that the ones that we were looking for had just run out and they just had like the sample. I find that so frustrating.
Oh, that's where I got my Berserk t-shirt, I think, was from Heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a smart idea. I'm gonna totally make sweatshirts next time because every convention, because like it just smells so bad. They always have it freezing, so I'm just gonna be like, here, sweatshirts. Also have a comic. I don't care if maybe you don't like it, but you should buy the sweatshirt. Give me
I sold
money.
the bag that way.
Yeah.
They had all their stuff
Oh,
from like hitting the other
yeah.
under booths, and they were coming down. I was like, "You look encumbered. Here, have a bag."
That's
And they were
smart.
like, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah, it's like $20, bro." And he was like, "Oh, cool." And then he had a bag.
I got you, Blingos Vengeful Ghost. I like making apparel, but I feel like nobody would want it. I actually have a
Show the
shirt.
world the Mavericks hoodie.
Ooh!
Yeah.
Yeah,
I-
it's
I
got a
live in this.
zipper.
Hey, cool!
Mavericks, and then it
Yeah,
has the
Blingo, it's got a zipper for
on
you,
the-
buddy.
on the back.
There you go. Woo! Nice. On
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, I love it.
Nice.
Irene, maybe you should make since they're talking about hoodies, maybe you should do one with like the pattern of Casimir's scars.
That'd be cool. Down the sleeves.
Where
Yeah,
did
down
I
the
come
sleeve.
up with these ideas?
Right, against
I totally came up with that idea.
That'd be awesome.
the black hoodie that would look really good for contrast.
Irene works all by herself on her project.
I never said that. I said I do almost everything.
Oh,
Unless I
thought
credit you for the shit you do.
I thought the specific wording was I do not collaborate.
Well, on like writing stuff for, you know what I mean. Stop. Leave me alone.
You know what I mean?
You do know what I mean.
Holy
Sorry. Crap.
Let me finish. I was like, you know what I mean? Don't you want the money, Nick? Don't you want work?
I didn't say that this time. That's you bringing it up.
That's right. This time.
And also, like, the first thing you introduced you as was my colorist, so I don't know what your problem is. I'm very appreciative. Look at the torture I go through. Look at the torture I go through.
You know what would also be a good hoodie idea is like putting some of your script on there, like your language.
Oh yeah.
Maybe.
Oh
Or
yeah.
like your magic system. Put your magic system on there with like.
Well, I haven't released the details for that yet, so.
Oh yeah, but you haven't released that sweatshirt either.
Yeah.
No. Well, I have a shirt. Let me show you guys.
Oh, you do?
Right. Yeah.
I actually have a shirt for Fiendish.
Yeah,
So,
I don't.
by the way, I have
That's so-
it. I should have. I would go change into it now, but I don't want to leave the stream.
Oh right.
I bought it. It's on Redbubble. I honestly just made it because I wanted it for myself. It's the
Oh, I
same
like it.
cover as the black
Yeah,
and
it's
white.
very cool.
Black and white covers.
Yeah, and
I wish I could wear the A-line dress. That looks like dope. That's a great
It does
design.
look very comfy. I got just like a chiffon shirt. This one over here.
What do you call it when it's really long, like the lady next to her?
Yeah, that's really
Let's
good.
see. Oh, this one. It's a graphic. Oh, it's just a big old T-shirt.
T-shirt
buy the
dress.
first one.
That is what you call
Yeah,
it.
and
Let's get it now. Drop the link. I want the link.
That sounds
I
really.
will drop the link.
Red with.
I will drop the link. Yeah, I realized I've never advertised that I have this shirt.
You
because-
should. It's a pretty design.
It is on the website. It's in the merch site. It's the merch link. It just leaves. This is the only merch I have, and I'll put up like a proper store when I have like after the campaign, and I'll put like the standee up as merch. But honestly, I made it just because I wanted a T-shirt. So if other people want it, that'd be cool too.
Whenever you go to the
Yeah,
convention,
Redbubble.
you should really consider bringing some of the copies of this T-shirt.
Yeah.
Those do draw quite a bit of attention, even when it's artists that I already like. It helped me spot them because the T-shirts are so big on the table too.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
I should do that.
walking billboards.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes. I want to do more as well. I'm gonna do one with Ragnar for book 2. So yeah. All right, I will have it.
You're making me imagine doing those like like cookout
aprons.
Yeah, those cookout aprons, but just like with Ragnar's giant tits just on them.
Why would you ever think I'd do that? Wow. Because it's a nice shirt. Well, thank you. I actually designed that. I did that illustration specifically for the shirt, and then I realized I could use it as a cover. So the cover was an afterthought. Yeah, the grayscale cover is also the
I
same.
thought it was the other way around.
No.
First, it was a while back.
I guess I don't remember.
Yeah, the book originally was going to be like, the cover was going to be color and then the interiors were going to be grayscale. But then when I did a color version, a grayscale version, I split it and put this as a cover instead. So now, and here's the grayscale book. In case you didn't know, the grayscale books are in and I'm shipping them right away. So, yay! So yeah, here you go. I have a shirt.
Yeah, I want one of those grayscale books. I ordered one.
Yeah. Well, if you order with anything else, I'm gonna have to. I'll ship. I mean, if you want.
Yeah, I ordered it with other stuff. So.
Okay. Yeah, I'm shipping.
I'm gonna have to wait. But I now own a Fiendish shirt, so that's cool.
Yay! Thank you. Yay. Are there hoodies? Anyway, I'm gonna look into making hoodies. Let's do that. Yeah. Great idea. Marketing. Yay!
These are awesome.
All right. Yeah. So. See. I don't think we got any more backers. I think, well, you did a really good job getting the word out for Mavericks. So I think most people who would be interested in this
helped.
Dude,
the 3 conventions helped a lot.
3 conventions. I was just gave up on doing conventions this year, and you did 3 to promote this.
Well, I mean, we were lucky that they happened during the campaign.
Yeah,
that's
right.
The summer launch was kind of pre-calculated just in case they started conventions. We couldn't go to the ones in New York because of the vaccine mandates and stuff, but we did do the ones in Connecticut. We almost got to the one in Rhode Island, but they were sold out.
How did you? Hey, thank you, Chris. Chris.
I am.
What? Oh yes, Chris wants the color variant. There you go. The colors do look good, I must say.
Yes, they do.
I have a question for you guys. How did you? Because did you actually have the book at the conventions?
Well, no, we had the teaser. Hold on, Aaron's earpiece died, so I'm gonna pass.
Okay.
But
you're gonna take the rest of the
convention. What we had was just the teaser comic, the pages that are that went out as a PDF to our backer list, to our sign up list. Sorry, and our they're on the campaign. We printed those up, and there are QR codes in them, so we sold those for $1 just to cover the cost of having them printed. And it had the QR code for the campaign. So this way they could buy it at the convention and then scan the QR code to bring them directly to the campaign.
Sweet. Yeah, that's really smart. I was thinking that, well, because marketing online, as we're so low for me, I didn't really want to do conventions anywhere except for a couple where I like New York Comic Con, and I really like Heroes and maybe C2E2. But, probably a good idea would be what you guys did is hit conventions while you're campaigning. That's a lot of work though. You need multiple people on the team to do that because while you're campaigning, you also want to do shows. You want to go on YouTube shows and promote the book. So but if you can do that, you have enough people to do conventions and also promote online, then that's the best case scenario. Yeah,
sometimes we would move our shows that we're on to around the convention. Other times we just streamed from our hotel room, which isn't the best Wi-Fi, internet, but we made it work.
Yeah, that's really awesome. Well, I am very glad you guys did so well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But you're gonna have one more backer after this because I haven't backed it and I'm ashamed. I thought I did, and now I must admit I haven't. I'm so sad.
Thank you. That's
but I will have to get this. Let's play the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 hours later.
We're pretty proud of it.
Listen, there is a tradition on my show. We play the trailers at the end.
I don't. Now it is.
Yeah.
Now it is a tradition. I don't know.
I guess.
I don't know.
Didn't we used to just like listen to them at the beginning?
Yeah, it was always we were gonna topic of discussion first, then we pitched the book. But I kind of just like mix it up now, just like let conversation flow. But usually I bring in a trailer at the end because it's
Mixing it up is a tradition.
Yes.
What does that sound?
What sound?
You don't hear
It might be coming from Irene if that's the case. Well, I don't know. I can hear it too. There's kind of a crinkling sound.
There's nothing crinkling on my end. You guys are crazy. You're both crazy.
What's that sound, guys?
Yeah, I'm just like crinkling stuff off screen. No, literally, there's nothing going. I have a fan on. Maybe that's it.
It might be your fan.
Maybe.
Yeah, let me see. Oh my gosh. Okay, there we go. Now let me know if you guys can't hear. Let's play this.
You definitely hear that sound.
War is a topic of vital importance, a subject of inquiry that cannot be ignored. It is a matter of life and death. It can be a road to safety or to ruin.
In an alternate version of our world, brought to the brink of total collapse, rival nations fight for global domination, and elite pilots in futuristic combat suits wage war on the battlefield of tomorrow. Now, 6 brave soldiers on a seemingly routine rescue mission will encounter more than they bargained for and uncover a dangerous secret that could change their world if they live long enough to see it.
Ooh, man. So much animation, man.
Wow.
So cool. Oh. All these people with their animated trailers.
Mavericks Origins, Volume 1.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh, so awesome!
That was fun.
It was a lot of work, but we're pretty proud of it.
Did you guys animate that? Or did you have someone else animate it?
Yeah, who did that?
The last 30 seconds was an animator that we hired. He worked on Gurren Lagann and some other stuff, and he was super awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, I could tell it was like, it wasn't just moving comic art. It was actually a whole new like animated, art.
Yeah. That was Aaron really wanted that. He can't hear anything right now. We're down to one headphone. So.
Oh, okay. Well, we should probably wrap up as well, but we'll just have. I mean, if you do come back on the line, then let me know. No, come back to us. That was really cool. So many people are doing animated trailers, and I had Brian Cardinal on the show a couple weeks ago. He did his own. The whole trailer was animated, and it was like just him, and like it's a little crazy, but just a lot of people have. Not like as crazy as what Ryan did for Kaius, which you guys should also check that out. That's really cool. But like just simple animation, just like the characters are cut out from the background and they're shifting, and there's kind of you just shifting the planes and you add some effects, and it's like really simple. But you take the comic art and you move it around, and that still makes the trailer looks like 10 times cooler. And I think it drums up the excitement so much better. And it's like, I really want to do that.
How are you not hearing that noise?
I don't. Is it me?
It's gotta be.
Yeah, you hear it?
I'm hearing it.
Yes, it is.
Now I don't hear it.
It's gone.
So it's me?
The mystery has been solved.
Yes.
Chat, do you hear it?
I'll speak for chat. Yes, they hear it.
They didn't say. Okay. All right. Well, I guess there's literally no sound here. Literally nothing's going on. Now my fan is off. I'm sure it's probably StreamYard's being a bitch again, because that's what it always does.
I don't think
it's still going.
Yeah, it's still going.
It's still.
Let me turn my audio.
I mean, you say we're wrapping up, but regardless, it's not like it's interrupting your voice or anything. Right. It's not too loud.
Hear it? No?
No, I don't hear it.
There you go! Oh my!
What was it?
StreamYards, StreamYards switches my microphone away from this nice fancy microphone I bought to my webcam all the time. And like, so if like, please tell me if you hear any static, because 99% of the time is that StreamYard just like switched my settings back to my webcam instead of my nice microphone that's right here that never has static. So there we go. Anyway, so for like, the now for the last section of the show, we won't have any static. Thank you, StreamYards. You're so great. You're vindicated. Never
less content right now.
Yes. This is a professional stream. I'm the peak of professionalism. Oh my gosh. I guess let's see. Some more updates. What should I talk about? Fiendish. I have some updates for Fiendish. So
if you don't mind, I'll talk about Rocket.
Oh right, yeah, sure. No, I wanna talk about my book first. Let's see. Okay, fine. You can show it.
No, I'll just give it a quick pitch.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Let's see. Screen. Blah blah blah.
This weird comic about monsters. You check it out.
Is this your next
No,
project?
that's Demon. No, this is my editor's book. Steve Dye's magazine Rocket. If Irene will share her screen, which she is not.
Oh, you're sharing your screen. Oh, I didn't know.
Yes, it's a Rocket, the Comicscape magazine. It's 120 pages. Basically, this cover is not final. Ethan proposed to do a jam cover of all the CG characters like Black and White, Cyberfrog, and so on. But yeah, it contains interviews, preview art. As of today, Fiendish Chapter 2 is going to be in there with a few pages.
I'll throw in a couple pages. Apparently you need pages to fill it out, so.
Advertise. Interview. And yeah, it's kind of like a Wizard magazine back in the day. So we got
like about indie projects?
Yeah.
Okay.
And upcoming and projects that are still in demand. And then Heather's Rack. EJ Morges.
Only thing that mattered. That's a really cool spread.
He did some Ashcan for Ethan, so we're going to learn about EJ Morges. Phil Diaz is in there. Narwhal. Me, unfortunately. So yeah, $20. Gets you 120 pages, and then we fixed the international tier. So back and watch you can.
Sweet. These like magazines, collective magazines, are a really cool idea. I know like Sim was also doing one, Red Label. That's another one that I also have Fiendish in that. So just collected books that are kind of like the Shonen Jump, but Shonen Jump books, but for indie comics. That's like a really nice thing. So people can get a sampling of a lot of indie books, and instead of like backing a book and realizing you don't like it, you just buy the magazine, the collected magazine with a bunch of previews in it, and then peruse what you would actually like to get.
So it actually has a few pages of each book in there.
That's the idea for Red Label, and I wasn't like originally going to be in Rocket, but I'm putting a couple pages for Fiendish in there. They want more artists to be in, and it's a cool opportunity. Appreciate it. Yeah, is it like they have a few pages of each comic in it, right? And like a short.
But that's not like available, so that.
All right. Yeah. Red Label has like huge sections, like 10 or 20 page previews, but I think Rocket is more just like a short couple pages and a short pitch for a bunch of indie books. So check that out. I think it's a really good idea.
Well, yeah, definitely.
I'm working on getting some kind of stretch goal stuff going on. So yeah. Whatever Steve wants.
Whatever Steve wants.
Well, he wants to yell at me all the time, so we're not going to do that.
Oh, well, I can't blame him for that. So, Fiendish. Hi, everybody.
This book.
Have you heard of this book? I just came across this book. Looks kind of weird. Think decent, but kind of weird. It's got these like weird looking monsters, and I don't know. It's like weird manga style. Have you heard of the mangi? The mangi. It's like these Chinese cartoons. This person draws a lot like those Chinese cartoons. I don't know if I should I don't know what I think about that.
Could you be showing this? I mean, there seems to be a lot of tentacles in there with this young man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just what the kids are into nowadays, I guess. I heard the mangi. The mangi.
So is it the kids or is it somebody else that's into it?
Well, I think I like the backgrounds, like this blank background. Those are some good clouds. That's why I'm backing this book. The clouds are really nice. So I think that's why you should back this book as well. Just for those like lovely sky shots, but everything else I'm not so sure about. It's like really gory and like I'm very sensitive, so I don't know if I can handle the gore. I'm gonna give it a shot, but like this, like it's slightly offensive to me, so I don't even know I can finish this scrolling through this page. This is like too much. Oh my gosh, so much blood, terrible. Yeah, so violent. Kids nowadays are so violent. But anyways, great sky shots, and I guess you're into the manga. You should back this book. Anyways, that's enough.
Look at those colors.
Hey, yeah, look at those covers. So in case you weren't here last week, I have updated the campaign page with some of the colored pages. And you can now see, I need to update this as well because that color page is also in. But look at all these colors. And if you scroll down, this banner is also in color. And I have, let's see, I have the covers on here. Imagine that. I didn't have the covers on here at first. I don't know why people backed the book without the covers being there. But now you have the covers.
Is Ivan's poster in there yet?
Yeah. Let's scroll. I mean, well, first of all, here, look, color pages. Color. Woo! Woo-hoo! Yeah. So these are, and I have the grayscale for this one. Because you can still get the grayscale version or the color version. It's up to you. Or get both, because the grayscale version does have a variant cover. It's a special variant. And this poster also done. So this is the poster on the left is by Nick, and the poster on the right is by Yvonne, who's in the chat, who's one of our D&D friends. Here you go. That's him. And he made a lovely poster that is now done, and this is should be on its way to me from the printer. And you can get these as in, I think, a couple of tiers, like the water tier and the heat tier, as like they're mini prints, so they're the same size as the comic. But I also offer all the posters as large size prints, like movie poster size prints. So those are you can get those as add-ons. So you can get these for in certain tiers as mini prints, or you can get the large ones as add-ons. Get it, and here's a standee.
Who did the one on the left, Blingo? That was done by Nick.
Yeah. the one with the eye is by Nick. That's also on the back cover because I really like that one. Yay! And the standee is in, and that's about it. I don't have a lot of other updates. We're not doing more stretch goals, so there. Yeah. So anyhow, I also did a website. You guys should check this out. Oh, so okay, please. So I have music on the website now, and you can if you get the book and you read it, you can hit the music and you can listen to it. It's awesome. I'm so proud of it. Yay. I'm just still using, this is actually like an Adobe Studios website or like Adobe Portfolio website, and I'm using my own domain name. I would love to have a website I could actually customize, and like I've talked to some people about doing a website that's like completely, just I pay for it, so everything is customizable, and I want to be able to have like, I didn't want to do a digital version of the book, but what I do want to do is have a website where you can log into like an account and like just pay like $2 to read a chapter. And it's not like pay per read. It's just you pay $2 and you have access to a whole book. But like I wanted to be like people can have an account on the website, but that costs money. So that's not something I can do yet. Or I'll fulfill this first book, and then I'm going to see what's left over and probably have to like pay half of it out of my pocket. But that's something I definitely want to do. But I am doing what I can with what I have right now, which is this Adobe Portfolio Builder. And in case you didn't know, I have this preview on there. It was like it's actually like the first 24 pages. I've been seeing 20 pages, but I'm going to update these two colors when they're later on as well, after I fulfill the books. But anyways,
that's a really good question from Snarkticon. Will Fiendish 2 have a tribute to Blingo?
I wasn't thinking of that, but it probably. I think we might have to now. I mean, I'm always thinking about Blingo.
Always thinking about Blingo all the time.
You could always have like someone like a hunter or something just walking in the background with like the catch of the day. Just have this
dead goblin.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Dead goblin dog.
Dead goblin dog. Yes. Missing.
You know the scene I'm gonna put that in now. I'm totally gonna have Blingo in there. All right. Yes, Blingo will be in chapter 2 of Fiendish. Yes.
There you go.
He true honors has been done to Blingo's legacy. Nefarious. I mean, you should read the book and find out. Sumo Authority, if you read really slow. Oh, I want to. Okay, so I'm going to extend the soundtrack next month, but the thing is I have like an Adobe, I buy the music licenses from Adobe stock, and I only have access to so many like tracks, but I found a bunch of tracks that are like, this is perfect. I have like a list of all the soundtracks that are like, this goes so well with the comics. So in like October, when next month I can, like, I only get a certain amount of assets every month, but I'll be making it longer. So I'll update it. If you check back when the color book is shipped, it'll be like a 40-minute soundtrack. So I really always wanted music with it. I'd love to like commission somebody to make music for the comic and for the trailers, but again, I don't have that money yet, but that's something I'm definitely going to work up to. So like, I want the full experience, just the full experience for you. That's what I'm here for. Blingo's happy. No, that's all I wanted. I just want to make Blingo happy. But yeah, anyhow, so I have updated the website, and I also have a species tab. So this is not final art.
The humans like bedroom eyes.
It was the only thing that had been on the website already. So
we love humans here.
I'm sure people don't mind, except you, AC.
What?
But yeah. I have actually commissioned my friend Lamont, who's a really, really amazing concept painter. He's going to be doing art for all these species tabs and also for the Pantheon page. So it's not like, it's just, and eventually it'll be in the world building book. So yes, people have been asking for a world building book, and I will be putting out one. I don't know about maybe with chapter 2. I think I'll do a small one, chapter 2 or chapter 3. But all this art that's on the website will be in the world building book. But also, there's a lot of information I'm not putting out yet. So you see all this crap, like my constructed language and like the world map and stuff. And it's like, this is the tip of the iceberg. And obviously the comics and the characters are what's important, but I spent a lot of time building world just because I'm kind of obsessive, and definitely going to be releasing more of that information, and I'll make a companion book for the book eventually. Yeah. So check that out. That's fiendishcomic.com. I'll post a link in the chat. This is, I'm really proud of adding music to it. You guys should go listen to it. Go listen to it. Oh my gosh. So yeah. And thank you once again to everybody who has backed Fiendish. This is possible all because of you. I appreciate it so much. And I can't wait to see the color book done, and I can't wait to package it and ship it into your hands. I'm very, very excited to get the final book of this project. And once again, Mavericks, the book from our guests. Back it if you haven't yet. I think everyone in the chat has said that they already backed it. If you haven't, and you're in the chat, you should back this book because it looks really awesome. And we need more giant robots in our lives. Tip of the just a tip. I worked in Archer. Do you know how many times I heard that joke? Okay.
It was funny the first time, not the fucking 100th.
Well, that's like most jokes on Archer. I don't know. I think Archer's pretty funny.
No, it's not.
Well, you don't think anything is funny or joyful, so. Anyhow, I will not let you bring down this optimism. This is an optimistic, fun stream, okay?
Yes.
Carmina just doesn't like anything. Archer's 50-50. I'm like, Archer. Yeah, I liked Archer.
I actually didn't watch that much of it, but for when I watched, it was nice. It wasn't always my thing, but it was nice. So, yeah. All right. I think since Neff's headphones are breaking and I think we've covered most of what we have, why don't we close up on everyone? Tell the chat where they can find you. Let's start with Neff and Frequency Girl.
You can find us on Twitter at The Global Freak. That's FREQ. You can find us on YouTube at Global Frequency Studios and also on Facebook and Instagram at the same tag. And you can find our comic on Indiegogo and Kickstarter.
Awesome.
Oh, and both. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, you're also on Kickstarter?
Yes, we had requests to do a Kickstarter campaign too, so we just launched that. We're combining.
It's almost at 5.
Yeah, it's almost at 5. We have 40 backers, I think, on Kickstarter so far. It has different covers than what's available on Indiegogo, and there's stuff like the secret prints and things like that are not going over to Kickstarter. Those are Indiegogo exclusive.
You may have a calendar,
but there may be a calendar that's going up on Kickstarter that isn't on Indiegogo.
Yeah, I know you can't do like the exact same thing on 2 platforms because they that's not legal. So I am going to post your channel in the chat right now, so everybody go subscribe to Global Frequency. They're lovely. I have been on their channel before, and they do fantastic interviews, and they do a lot of like you do like work streams as well, right?
Yeah, we've stopped those for now because Garrett's at a point in the book where it would be kind of spoilery, and he's also doing like a mix of digital and physical. So
he's scared of Mobigs.
and he's scared of Mobigs. So right now it's just Aaron and I with the guests. But,
okay,
yeah.
cool.
So
the link is in the chat, and also if you want to back Mavericks, it's also in the chat right now. So, all right, and thank you once again for coming on.
Thank you so
I'm
much
so
for
glad you
having me.
come. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, thanks for sticking around while you're having audio issues.
Yeah,
I'm actually going to pass it over to Aaron so he can say goodbye and hear you.
You're right. I need to hear people to say goodbye. Goodbye. Thanks for having us on, Rini. Appreciate
of course. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having us. Bye, AC. Bye, Nick. Bye, Chimera.
Bye.
I mean, Shinji.
Shinji. All right, AC and Nick, where can people find you?
You can find me by searching my name, AC Zamudio, on Instagram and Twitter.
And I'm as Ink Imp Nick. You can find me on Instagram, Blogspot, and Facebook. And I am easily contacted as inkimpnick@gmail.com.
Cool. Shinji.
Yeah, you can find me Chimera in the Hut, Twitter. I'll probably get back to the YouTube stuff and check out Rocket on Indiegogo.
There you go. Do all that. And you can find me at Rini Draws on Twitter, YouTube, of course. Subscribe if you haven't. I need more subscribers. Yeah, I'm still not monetized yet, so let's.
Wait, Rini has a channel?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. We were just streaming into the ether. I wasn't aware I had a channel, but I guess somehow that happened. So I also have. I guess I should plug my Patreon. I haven't been plugging my Patreon, but I do have one. I post a lot of behind the scenes stuff for Fiendish on there. That's where like I post sketches, and like I posted a chapter 2 cover that I haven't released publicly. So a lot of like behind the scenes like sketches and the pencils for the pages. And I also do a monthly fan art vote. So that's in the description of all my YouTube videos. And I just don't promote it because I feel like Patreon's kind of begging. But dude, I do post like stuff like work in progress stuff. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, like you can subscribe for as little as like $1. So you can head over there and check it out. And otherwise, just follow me on Instagram, Twitter, or YouTube. I post tons of art there as well. And also check out Fiendish, of course. And I'll see you next week, Wednesday at 8 p.m. Oh, we're a Pathfinder stream. Is this Sunday?
Right.
I'm so glad I didn't forget.
Session 2.
Guys, so we were going to only do one session for the last module, but it, of course, spilled up because that always happens. So we're going to be continuing to kill jackals this Sunday, 1 p.m. EST on my channel. Look out for the Pathfinder stream and come join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. Woo!
Yes.
All right. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks everybody.
Have a good night.
Thanks, guys.
Bye. Bye.